Jesus, I will love you always. 1, 2, 3, let's go. That's right, say it.
Citi Breakfast Show. Rise above the noise. The Citi Breakfast Show.
Nobody can do me like this. Not my life, I go there for you. Nobody can do me like the way you do. All my life, Lord, I go there for you. You changed my life, you turned my life around.
6:26.
Give me a new song.
Welcome to Wednesday,
Give me a new song.
the 7th of December 2022. Good morning, bonjour, buenos dias. This is the Citi Breakfast Show.
A new song to sing. Give me a new song to sing.
My name is Nathan Quao, sitting in for Bernard Avlet. Oh, it's such an honor bringing you the biggest breakfast in town. Have a seat, let's have breakfast. Join us on the number 0549 986 996. On Twitter at Citi973. Hashtag CitiCBS. And you are listening to us live via the internet on citynewsroom.com. It's a Wednesday morning. Sounds of MOG. With the song titled Mala, I will sing. I will sing of the goodness of the Lord. Oh.
On the cross, you gave your life for me. You gave your life for
We start off with our business sense.
me. You gave your life for me. On the cross.
Brought to us by ADB. ADB is giving you the Payday Plus. You can access up to 100,000 CDs. No, 100,000. 10,000 CDs rather. Oh, man. You can access up to 10,000 CDs or 80% of your next monthly salary. And remember, there's no interest on repayment within 30 days. And your money hits your account the same day. Now, this is to help you meet any pressing need that may pop up before payday. So call Meredith on 0243 273 369 or now on 0244 284 197. ADB, truly a Greek and more. Business Sense today comes from Rick Warren. Rick Warren, who says the first job of leadership is to love people. Leadership without love is manipulation. The first job of leadership is to love people. Leadership without love is manipulation. So it's quite clear. If we say we are leading, then our first job is to love people. Be compassionate, show empathy, understand them, care about them. Whatever matters to them should matter to you. Because leadership without love is manipulation. If you are not a human being about things, then you are just manipulating people. If you are not sympathetic, if you don't have any feeling for the people you lead, then you are doing a horrible job. Wise words coming from Rick Warren on a Wednesday morning. That's our business sense brought to us by ADB. ADB, truly a Greek and more. Coming up next is the newspaper review. This is the Citi Breakfast Show. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere.
This is the Citi Breakfast Show. The city's biggest conversation.
Why would you want to be caught up in this?
What do you get when you mix the best DJs in the country, the most amazing live band sets, delicious cocktails, and wonderful food? Back-to-back hit music from Ghana's finest group, Prayer, and being serenaded by the brilliantly talented Aquabua. The biggest outdoor party, of course. Situation 2022. Are you ready to party? Hey, we are changing the situation on December 24, 2022 with the biggest outdoor party in Accra. The Situation Outdoor Party 2022. Let's wrap up the year in style with the most epic party to end all parties this Christmas Eve with Situation. Make your Christmas Eve come alive with the most incredible DJs who will keep you dancing all night long. Amazing live band sets and the crooner Akwabua. It is the perfect ingredient for the best party this festive season. Ain't no party like a city party because a city party don't stop. This will be another one to remember. Date Saturday 24th December 2022. Venue La Palm Royal Beach Hotel, Accra. Time 8 p.m. Dress code, it's an all-white affair. For table booking, call 020-5973-973 or 055-8973-973. Book your table and make reservations now. Media partners, Ghana Weekend and City FM. This is powered by Citi TV. This is a Beyond the Return event.
Citi TV is live on DSTV. Go to channel 363. On GoTV, access Citi TV on channel 182. On a digital TV, please press the menu button on the remote control and run a new search on your TV. Take note that without an antenna, you cannot access Citi TV on your television. Citi TV can be accessed on a free-to-air digital box like the GoTV and Star Times box. Citi TV, it's your world.
Now, these days you need cash. We all need cash. That's why Fidelity Bank Sikaboom promo is here. So you can win 100,000 cedis in the grand draw. So you can have lots more cash. All you have to do is deposit and maintain 300 cedis in your Fidelity Bank account. If you don't have an account, go and set one up and then deposit and maintain 300 cedis and multiples of it in your account. And then you qualify and you could win big in the grand draw. Fidelity Bank, believe with us. Total Energy is also bringing us the newspaper review. They are 3-time winners of the CIMG Award for Petroleum Company of the Year. These days, they are in the CIMG's Hall of Fame for Petroleum. They are doing big things, and they say they'll keep on doing those big things to keep you happy in terms of products and services, so you can enjoy using your car or whatever thing you have that uses fuel from Total Energies. And the segment is also brought to us by Kel Chaco Toothpaste. Kel Chaco Toothpaste, happy smile.
Welcome the king of the African dance. Backbiter, backshot sniper. How come you get so hyper? Look them boy there, them funny thing they might try that. Tell them to ever make them cry that. Funny boy them try imitate me.
Let me welcome Godfred Akotoboafo. He's got the papers for the morning. Godfred, how are you doing? Good morning.
I am well, Nathan. Quite a few things, a few papers are in this morning. I'll start from the front page of the Daily Graphic. Says that build consensus on debt program. This is coming from the Institute of Statistical, Social and Economic Research, ISA, at the University of Ghana. And then says also President inaugurates inspects projects. He's been going around. And Wizkid is also on the front page of the Daily Graphic.
True. Now, the Chronicle is reporting majority-minority joyfully approved budget, and President inaugurates 900-meter Afienya Road over bridge project, and Sam George Lord Akufo-Addo for completing project initiated by NDC, driver charged for using offensive weapons to attack workers, and World Lottery President in for NLA 60th anniversary. Quotation here, Luke 9:62. Jesus said to him, "No one who puts his hand to the plow and looks back is fit for the kingdom of God."
Hey, but Chronicle, joyfully approved budget. We were in Parliament too. The joy in the matter. Okay, no problem.
They're talking about how easy it was. It seemed.
The front page of the Friday newspaper, good news here. In Pakadan, Tema Rail project 98% complete. As President Akufo-Addo commissions 900-meter Afienya Road over bridge project. The MPA is also in the news. They are seeking cabinet approval to scrap some taxes on LPGA, coming from Dr. Abdul Hamid. And yeah, Those are the big stars.
Ghanaian Times, our best friend is here. Stop grain smuggling to Burkina Faso, Niger, others. A Greek minister to Upper West regional residents.
He's telling them.
Yeah, he's telling them. Say, stop it. Parliament approves 2023 budget statement, but minority threatens to kick against some taxes. Story on page 4. And biomass fuels kills 20,000 Ghanaians prematurely annually. Second lady is saying NPA to seek cabinet support to remove LPG taxes. And VIP cuts sword for work to begin on $26 million third-tier Tema motorway interchange.
Front page of the Republic Press says government under pressure as NDC joins unions to reject bond exchange program. Parliament approving the budgets on the front page. Your actions are unjustifiable. NPP MP to colleagues who chose Qatar over budget debate. Saglemi housing project increases government's headache. They need $68 million to complete it. And they have sort of a story. It says Muhammad begs for cash for broke NDC.
The new crusading guide, Tema to Mpakadan Railroad comes alive as President Akufo-Addo commissions Afienya Road over Bridge Railway project. NDC chairmanship race, Esiedun Ketia captures Ofosu Ampofo's hometown. Fantiakwa delegates to Roots for General Mosquito. And Okobeng Mines warns encroachers on its concession. Later, NPA to engage cabinet over taxes on LPG.
Well, quite a few of the papers have the same headlines. I'll skip quite a few of them and just do the BNFT finally. The custodian is dealing with the opening of the Afienya Road, the MPA seeking cabinet approval. So let me go finally to the BNFT. Citi rallies on debt exchange announcement. Good news there. Be transparent in your dealings to attract funding. Gesal MD to farmers. The BOG has upgraded the 1 Ghana cedi coin.
Yes.
There was a statement of that yesterday. People were like, okay. And then redirect interest cost savings into productive programs. Again, this is coming from me. So that is all from me, Nathan.
Now, Ghanaian publisher also has several of the same stories. The only unique one here is stakeholders satisfied with ICUMS or ICUMS. Nick declares, and then Tampuli observes Farmers' Day in Gusheo. Esla Owusu denies SIM cards block over no Ghana card. This is on the new publisher. It also has similar of previous stories on other pages we've brought you already.
Okay, if you go online, citynewsroom.com says Joe Jackson calls for cool heads over debt exchange program. Okay, and other stories. Agreement on nurses UK job will affect our health system. That's according to the registered Nurses and Midwives Association. It's not true that MPP has borrowed more than any government in history. That's according to John Kuma. Parliament approves 2023 budget, and NACOC accuses police of hiding suspected marijuana intercepted at Liero. So that's the story there. If you go to citybusinessnews.com, EIU analysts forecast grim economic outlook for Africa in 2023. The Chamber of Corporate Trustees is saying that they were not consulted on debt exchange program. Other stories, upward adjustment of policy rate, a measure to check inflation not working. Central Bank must review approach. That's according to the AGI. And they have the Bank of Ghana upgrading the 1 Ghana cedi coin story as well. If you go to citysportsonline.com, Morocco v Spain, Bono penalty shootout heroics shock Spanish team. Interesting. Danny Welbeck, Godfred's very good friend, Nitaki Welbeck says there wasn't an official approach from Ghana to switch. So that's something from an interview he granted Big Shaq a few days ago. And Samuel Eto'o filmed in physical altercation with fan in Qatar. Plus, the Ghana Premier League to resume on December 19 for those who did not know. If you go to myjoyonline.com, they also have a few stories there. Titus Baywo says government has not demonstrated we are in this together anthem. Interesting. Parliament approves budget, and Tema residents to experience 48-hour disruption in water supplies. And the minority leader is saying public servants are justified in asking for increase in salaries. Okay. And then if you go international, the BBC says China eases COVID quarantine and lockdown measures, and Georgia win hands Democrats outright Senate control. That's happening in the United States. All right, let's get into the stories.
Okay, let me just touch on what Issa is saying on this. It says on the front page of quite a few papers. Let me do the story from the Daily Graphic. It says that the Institute of Statistical, Social and Economic Research of the University of Ghana has called for national consultations among all stakeholders in the government for a consensus that can ensure a successful debt restructuring exercise and restore confidence in the economy. The Policy Research Institution maintained that a national consensus among key stakeholders such as Parliament, investors, civil society organizations, and the citizenry would help accelerate the country's recovery efforts to avoid the mistakes that led the economy into its current challenges.
Okay, talking about consensus, citynewsroom.com says Parliament has approved the 2023 budget statement and economic policy despite opposition from the minority on the revenue mobilization measures. Yeah. The House has been debating the statement since November 29 after it was presented by the Finance Minister. During the final day of debate, the minority group raised concerns over some of the revenue generation measures, including the removal of a threshold on the e-levy and a 2.5 increase in VAT. The approval paves the way for estimates for MDAs to be referred to the various committees for scrutiny. All right.
On page 2 of the Chronicle, it has a photograph of Sam George shaking hands with the president, and Maxwell Ofori reports that the Member of Parliament for Ningo Pram Samuel Nete George was full of praise for President Akufo-Addo yesterday at a ceremony to commission the 6-year-old Afienya Road and Bridge project, which is in his constituency. It is 900 meters road. It is a 900-meter road over bridge on the Tema Mpakadan railway line at Afienya in the Greater Accra region to Senchi in the Eastern region. The usual politics which normally blinds the eyes political opponents to the good works of their rival lost its potency this time as the MP represented the NDC openly celebrated the president for completing the road project. Quote, "I celebrate the president for continuing this $398 million project started in 2016 but seeing completion under his term," he remarked. So Mpakadan Afienya 900-meter road over bridge has been completed and the MP is happy.
Well, let me tell you about the IMF on page 39. The Deputy Finance Minister, Abinasi Asare, says that the debt exchange plan critical for successful government IMF talks. The government has explained that its domestic debt exchange plan, dubbed Ghana Domestic Debt Exchange, is critical to the success of its ongoing negotiations with the International Monetary Fund. According to the government, it intends to secure a staff-level agreement with the fund by the end of the year, and noted that the plan will play a pivotal role in achieving that objective and to move the negotiation to the next level. I think, Nathan, there have been some resistance from this, if you have any stories online from that angle.
So yesterday we heard from the trustees, and the trustees, remember we spoke to them on the CBS, they have
the Ghana Medical Association,
NAGRAT. Several bodies have all reacted.
Okay, right.
We'll get you some of those. But then Joe Jackson, though, is saying that the debt exchange program is a bitter pill to swallow, but the alternative is dire. He was speaking on Eyewitness News. This story is also on citynewsroom.com. Yeah. Joe Jackson, who is Director of Strategy and Business Operations at Dalex Finance, he says, he was speaking on the merits and otherwise of the scheme. And he said, although it presented a difficult situation, the public had to remain calm. And he says, quote, "The alternative is dire. So we have to take a rational and measured approach to this bitter pill that we are about to swallow. That is the truth of the matter. We cannot be screaming and shouting. Panicking won't solve the problem." End quote. So that's his reaction. He happens to know his finance and he knows his finance very well. So he's saying that, look, that is what is on the table and we have to go through the process, albeit painfully.
Right. So in the center spread of the Ghanaian Times, stop grain smuggling to Burkina Faso, Niger, others, a Greek minister to Upper West regional residents. And the Minister of Food and Agriculture, Dr. Owusu Efri-Akoto, has called on residents around border towns to help check the smuggling of food commodities, particularly grains, from the Upper West region to neighboring Burkina Faso, Niger, and other countries. The minister bemoaned the smuggling of farm produce from the region and said it was inimical to efforts by government at ensuring food security all year round. Dr. Akoto stated this when he visited the region on Monday to interact with the staff of the Department of Agriculture across the region on the successes as well as the gaps in the sector for redress. So that's coming from the Greek minister's tour in the Upper West region.
Well, and the Republic Press on page 3, Saglabi Housing Project increases government headaches. It says that between the options of coughing up a whopping $68 million from government offers from government coffers to complete the Saglami affordable housing project and handing over the 1,506 housing units to private developers. Government has chosen the latter in order not to further saddle the taxpayer with an additional financial burden in these difficult times. A recent announcement by the Minister for Water Resources, Works and Housing, Francis Soboache, that government was exploring the option of selling the Saglami project was greeted with some mixed emotions from sections of the public as it sparked a value for money debate.
Asiedun Ketia captures Ofosu Ampofo's hometown ahead of the upcoming election to elect new national officers to steer the affairs of the National Democratic Congress NDC into election 2024. The New Crusading Guide is reporting that Samuel Ofosu Ampofo is facing a Herculean task of rallying support from his home constituency, Fantiakwa North, to booster his campaign. Now, legends of delegates in the constituency have thrown their support for Chairman Ofosu Ampofo's fierce contender, Johnson Asiedun Ketia, describing him as the man who could lead them to victory in the 2024 elections. The delegates, in a statement released last Monday, December 5 this year, stated that, quote, "We, the delegates of Fantiakwa North constituency, after a careful study and understanding of the campaign messages and vision statements of all the candidates vying for the chairmanship position of our great party, the National Democratic Congress NDC, have resolved and declared our unflinching support for Mr. Johnson Asiedun Ketia."
Well, work is progressing on the Buankra Inland Port. On page 18 of the BNFT, you will find that story. It's been one of the contentious ones. It's been hanging for quite some time. It says that work is progressing steadily on the terminal session at the Buankra Integrated Logistics Terminal, popularly referred to as Buankra Inland Port Project, just after Jasmo construction commenced work. And there's quite a good story on the project there.
Now, the new publisher has Terminator here. Road toll to be collected electronically in 2023. And then on page 7, ESLA denies blocking SIM cards of citizens without Ghana card. Quick highlights here. The Minister of Roads and Highways, Kwesi Amoakwata, has said that road toll will no more be collected by human beings when the levy is reintroduced in 2023. According to Mr. Amoakwata, the payment of road toll will be via electronic means. Quote, "We are going to build modern expressway which will come with towing facilities, but those towing facilities will be electronic towing facility. If it has to come, it will be done electronically," he said. Now, the whole year, we were getting an average of 78 million Ghana cedis, depending upon the ground condition. That amount of money cannot even build 10 kilometers of road. We were paying the lowest toll in the world. Meanwhile, we want excellent and good roads in our country. We want good things. We must be prepared to pay for more. We will no longer be paying 50 pesos and 1 Ghana cedi. Terminator is quoted to have said.
Well, let me take you to page 25 of the Daily Graphic. Academic City College manufactures ventilator. Wow. The really good story says that an updated version of a locally made ventilator for respiratory and other health-related issues has been manufactured in the country. Known as the Stellar ventilator model, was first developed by engineers and students of the Academic City College in Accra as a response to the inadequate supply of ventilators during the peak of the COVID-19 pandemic.
Solid.
Since 2020, the engineers and students under the leadership of the founder and president of the college, Professor Fred Mac-Bagonlori, have updated the instrument 4 times, with the 5th edition set to be released onto the market within 6 months. So some good news there. And the vice president has launched an NHIS mobile app.
Okay.
It has launched a new comprehensive online self-enrollment mobile application for the National Health Insurance Scheme. It's known as My NHIS app, and it will enable people to self-enroll onto the scheme from the comfort of their homes instead of visiting NHIS offices. Additionally, it will enable subscribers to renew their membership and that of third parties across access frequently asked questions, aid in the location of all NHIS offices, and also link NHIS cards to their Ghana card.
Nice.
Well, talking about upgrades and all of those things, the Bank of Ghana has announced an upgrade on the 1 Ghana cedi coin with enhanced security features. A statement from the BOG said it would issue the upgraded 1 cedi coin into circulation from next Monday, December 12th. Now, the coin, according to the central bank, is similar to the existing one in shape, form, and images, the coat of arms in front, the scale of justice at the back. And the BOG added that the upgraded coin was bimetallic with outer gold and inner silver. And the new coin would have a pronounced rough edge and would incorporate a latent image which appeared in a rectangular form below the scale of justice at the back. So be on the lookout for the new 1 Ghana cedi coin.
Yes, 1 Ghana for your pocket. ESLA denies blocking SIM cards of citizens without Ghana card. Story by Justice Jido, and it reads: the Minister of Communication and Digitalization, Mrs. ESLA Owusu Ekufo, has explained that the SIM cards blockade currently ongoing, spearheaded by the National Communications Authority (NCA), has nothing to do with persons without Ghana cards. The Ablekuma West lawmaker, speaking on the floor of Parliament on Monday, December 5, 2022, said the blockade only affects persons who have their Ghana cards and have started the process of the SIM card re-registration, but have refused to complete for whatever reasons. She indicated that mobile subscribers without a Ghana card, which is the main document for the registration of SIM cards at the moment, have not had their numbers deactivated. She was responding to concerns raised by Ranking Member on the Communications Committee of Parliament, ABA Fuseni, and other 4 statements made by the Minority Chief Whip. Okay. Muntaka Mubarak.
Well, Ghana Water Company Limited, they've shut down their Tema station for repair works. That's on page 24 of the Daily Graph. So if you live in the Tema part, it says that water supply will be interrupted for 48 hours. And that's from today to Friday to enable them to install new equipment, including new heavy-duty pumps at this Tema booster station. So areas to be affected include all communities in Tema, industrial area, Bachona, Coca-Cola, Casapreco, Lashibi, Klagon, and Sakumano. Others are Shaiman, Ajekojo, Boteman, Santor, Trasaco, Afresco Estate, Manekot, and Regimano Estate. Then the rest are Riley Senior High School, Airport Hills, Matichuru, and surrounding communities.
So if you don't have Kufo Gallon, your water is finished. No buffing for you with that.
Well. Anyway, also Mohamed Polo on the sports page. Polo. Mohamed Ahmed Polo.
Yeah, man.
The
Polo.
scientific footballer.
Yeah. He says lack of game plan.
Yes.
Robbed Black Stars. Today I'll spend some time on
the World Cup.
The World Cup. Yes, on the breakfast.
You want
show.
to say 1 or 2 things?
Well, yeah, we haven't done a post-mortem. We don't need the World Cup has ended for us. So we'll do our post-mortem. I don't need to wait for the World Cup itself to end. I have a few things I want to say.
Thank you.
So today I will deal with that. But Polo says we lacked a game plan. And then Maurice Kwasi is also going to speak to one of the stars of the Black Stars at this World Cup, Salis Abdul Samed, who says that Ghana must build on the positives.
I see.
Now, the VIP is cutting sword for work to begin on $26 million third-tier Tema motorway interchange. So just a brief highlight of that story by Lawrence Vomafa Akpalu. The Vice President, Dr. Mahmoud Baumia, has cut sword for work to begin on a third-tier on the Tema motorway interchange. The project to be constructed on the existing second tier is estimated at $26 million and expected to be completed in 30 months. I'm not sure if this is different from the motorway expansion itself. I think it's different.
Okay,
the expansion has...
All right, if you go to citynewsroom.com, NACOC accuses police of hiding suspected marijuana intercepted at Liero. Okay. Now, the Upper West Regional Command of the Narcotics Control Commission has accused the police of under-declaring the quantity of some compressed substances suspected to be marijuana that was intercepted by a joint police immigration task force at Liero, a community in the Sisala West District, on December 1. The commission has thus petitioned the state attorney on the matter to help trace the parcels of the suspected marijuana.
Thank you.
Now, the patrol team, made up of police and immigration personnel, acting on intel, conducted a swoop in the house of a man at Liero, where it was revealed that most of the rooms were stocked with sacks containing the substance suspected to be marijuana. NACOC in a statement said 981 parcels of the suspected substance were kept in the possession of the immigration, but while several others were left with the police. Okay. Upon intelligence, the commission has confirmed the items in the custody of the immigration service. However, the police denied the commission information with regard to the quantity and place of custody of the substance herein referred, despite several efforts. Now, this is quoted from a statement NACOP.
But I think there's been an update on this because after this report was made to the Attorney General,
then there was collaboration.
And suddenly,
hashtag bring back the marijuana.
And apparently over 2,000 more persons emerged. 2,000 plus emerged after
the original.
But I must commend the NACOP guy there, for following this up and basically telling the Attorney General, Charlie, that he went to see some, we can't find the rest. It has disappeared.
No, because these days boys say that the price of the thing has even gone up. So if it disappears like that, Charlie.
But we need more officers like that.
Yeah,
he followed this through.
Very forthright.
And then after he wrote, the people saw the Attorney General's letterhead because the Attorney General responded.
Yes.
And after he responded, the people say, "Hey, we've seen it.
Touch not the weed.
Bring that in.
All right, thank you, Godfrey. Thank you, Caleb. That was the newspaper review. Coming up next is the City Business News.
We're sorry to interrupt this program for a breaking news story. Information reaching us is that the whole country has been thrown into a state of joy.
What do you get when you mix the best DJs in the country, the most amazing live band sets, delicious cocktails, and wonderful food? Back-to-back hit music from Ghana's finest group, Prayer, and being serenaded by the brilliantly talented Akwabua. The biggest outdoor party, of course. Situation 2022. Are you ready to party? We are changing the situation on December 24, 2022 with the biggest outdoor party in Accra. The Situation Outdoor Party 2022. Let's wrap up the year in style with the most epic party to end all parties this Christmas Eve with Situation. Make your Christmas Eve come alive with the most incredible DJs who will keep you dancing all night long. Amazing live band sets and the crooner Akwabua. It is the perfect ingredient for the best party this festive season. Ain't no party like a city party because a city party don't stop. This will be another one to remember. Date Saturday 24th December 2022. Venue La Palm Royal Beach Hotel, Accra. Time 8 p.m. Dress code, it's an all-white affair. For table booking, call 020-5973-973 or 055-8973-973. Book your table and make reservations now. Media partners, Ghana Weekend and City FM. This is powered by Citi TV. This is a Beyond the Return event.
Coming up next is the City Business News, brought to us by Goyle. Goyle is an oil marketing company of choice, and they are making things easy and convenient for you. You can now use mobile money to pay whenever you go to a fuel station of Goyle's to go and buy. Visit their pages on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter to find out more. Goyle, good energy, Goyle. Yeah, dear. The City Business News is also brought to us by Access Bank, and Access Bank is partnering Graphic Communications to bring you the SME Fair 2022. It's happening this Thursday and this Friday, 10 a.m. each day at the AMA Gardens. There are so many products from different spheres available on sale at discounted prices. So just go to the AMA Gardens on Thursday and Friday from 10 a.m. and go and pick whatever it is you can pick. Call 0800 004400 for more info. Access Bank, more than banking. Now MTN is saying that on Sundays you can dial *550# and enjoy endless conversations that cost you as little as 52 pesos. Non-stop talking and texting on all networks. Only from MTN. Remember, T's and C's apply. And Enterprise Life is also bringing us the City Business News. Enterprise Life is your advantage. Netele Nete is here. She's got the latest from the world of business.
Hello and welcome to the breakfast edition of City Business News, proudly brought to you by MTN, GOIL, Access Bank, more than banking, and powered by your most comprehensive business news website, citybusinessnews.com. Coming up, economist Professor Peter Quao calls for deepened consultations with stakeholders to ensure a successful implementation of the domestic debt restructuring program, and government urged to introduce interventions to ensure investor community does not lose confidence following the rollout of the debt restructuring program. To our stories now. In its quest to restore macroeconomic stability and ensure Ghana secures a deal with the IMF, Director of the Institute of Statistical, Social and Economic Research, ISE, Professor Peter Quao is urging government to build consensus on the domestic debt restructuring program. Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta on Monday announced that domestic bonds from the beginning of this month will be exchanged for a set of 4 new bonds maturing in 2017, 2029, 2032, and 2037. But the minority in Parliament and various groups and associations such as the National Association of Graduate Teachers, NAGRAT, have kicked against the move by government. Speaking at a post-budget seminar by ISE, Professor Peter Quao said government must deepen consultations with such groups to find a middle ground and avoid the mistakes of the past.
The debt exchange program would restore confidence through the IMF-backed program. But this is a very painful exercise with severe repercussions on the financial sector. Already the mutual fund holders and pension funds are not too comfortable. Then I spoke about the mark-to-market value, which is also affecting investors already. I think we need to build consensus. Further consultation and consensus building is necessary to avoid the mistakes of the past, where parliamentarians started fighting, and all the things we saw in Parliament. That did not help us at all. It sent a wrong signal to the international community that we couldn't pass our budget, that we were fighting. If you are an investor, would you bring your money to a country where the legislators are fighting? So I think government should not take any entrenched position. The opposition should also ensure that they also dialogue so that as a country, we are able to achieve our goal.
Professor Peter Quao is the director of the Institute of Statistical, Social and Economic Research, ISE. Director of Strategy and Business Operations at Dalex Finance, Joe Jackson, has predicted that government will in the coming years face difficulties in raising revenue through the issuance of domestic bonds. His comment comes on the back of government's announced debt restructuring program and its rippling effects on the investments of bondholders. In an interview with Citi Business News, Joe Jackson said the government's debt restructuring program will make bonds unpopular to the investing community.
It would be abnormal for such a haircut to take place and everyone to still keep rushing into government bonds. So definitely, the government will take some amount of it in terms of its effort to raise money. Remember that we've been shut out of the foreign Eurobond market, and the local market is going to be tougher. But it is what it is. The government has presented financial institutions and corporate entities that bought its bonds with a fait accompli and says, if you don't do this, the alternative is dire. It is true the alternative is dire. And so we have to take a rational, measured approach to this difficult pill, to this bitter pill that we are about to swallow. That is the truth of the matter. We cannot start screaming and shouting because panic will not solve the problem. But it is a bitter pill. It is a difficult pill, and it will make it harder for the government to pick up money for its bonds in the months and years ahead.
Joe Jackson is the Director of Strategy and Business Operations at Dalex Finance. With fuel prices tipped to drop further, energy consultant Benjamin Nsian believes transport operators will have to make some concessions for commuters. There have been calls for a reduction in transport fares after the price of fuel in the country drops significantly, with diesel, for instance, declining from almost 24 Ghana cedis per litre to about 18 Ghana cedis at the pumps. But transport operators have remained entrenched in their position, arguing that fuel prices are still quite high, considering the fact that the price at the pumps as of January this year was just at 6 cedis 50 pesos a litre. Speaking to Citi Business News, Mr. Nsian is of the view that at least 100% drop in transport fares is a fair compromise.
As we speak today, prices have plummeted from the 23 Ghana cedis 50 pesos per litre, and I'm talking about diesel, to 18 Ghana cedis 86 pesos per litre, and that is about 25% decline in the prices of a product when they increase this particular fare. So it is justified for anyone to say that they should decrease their fares because they asked for 19 later implemented 40% increase. Now prices have declined by 25%. I think it is also incumbent on them to also decrease their fare by at least 10%. The argument is that cost of living is high. Yes, cost of living is high, but cost of living is an element in certain fares in Ghana. It is not the only element. So if cost of living is high, that is why I think that it is appropriate and effective for people to say, no, don't even decrease fares by 25%, but at least 10% will do. In the future, I'm thinking that fares will continue to decrease because price of petroleum products on the international market are continuously plummeting, and they are even plummeting to levels before the Russian-Ukraine conflict.
Benjamin Nsian is an energy consultant. As part of efforts to boost revenue generation and enhance security at the ports in Ghana and neighboring countries, Ghana Link Network Services Limited, the technical operator of the Integrated Customs Management Systems, ICOMS, at the nation's port, has signed an MOU with the Customs Unipass Agency of Korea. During the ceremony, both parties committed to close cooperation, which would develop countries on the African continent. In his remarks, Chairman of Ghana Link, Nick Danso, said the Ghana Link is committed to use its expertise to transform Africa's ports.
Ethiopia has agreed to sign a partner with Ghana Link for the development of similar system for our nearby African countries. From here, we are going to Gambia. We are developing it. Together, we shall help transform the international trade landscape for our sub-region and continent as a whole. We are going to work together and we will make sure we help Africa to achieve their revenue from port and borders.
That was the chairman of Ghana Link, Nick Danso. Meanwhile, the director of operations at Ghana Link, Raymond Amaglo, says ICOMS has improved business activities at the ports despite the current economic crisis.
With the introduction of ICOMS, currently, the clearance of goods at the port has seen a rapid improvement when it comes to time. If you take advantage of our pre-manifest declaration clearance option, what it enables you to do is to make an application to customs with your invoice, bill of lading, packing list way ahead of the arrival of the vessel. And once you have done this, you are even able to pay your duties. And the good thing is that when the duty is calculated, you get a notification at your front end. You either accept the duty or you reject it. If you accept, you are able to make payment with any bank because all the commercial banks are connected to ICOMS and their various payment options are all available to you. Secondly, if you reject the tax bill for whatever reason, it immediately triggers an appeal and you are able to make an indication to customs as to why you think customs should have a second look at your tax bill. So basically what this has helped to do is to ensure that we are able to clear cargo within hours or within a day once the vessel has discharged at the port. So one, there is very speedy clearance of goods. Then there is a lot of cost savings. A challenge with the exchange rate. What it means is that if you are able to make payments today, your vessel could arrive in 2 months' time, and you are able to make cost savings when it comes to the exchange rate at the time of the arrival of the cargo in the country.
That was the Director of Operations at Ghana Link, Raymond Amaglo. Now on the interbank foreign exchange market, where banks trade amongst themselves, The dollar lost 2 pesos and is selling at 13 cedis 9 pesos. The British pound gained 2 pesos and is selling at 16 cedis 3 pesos. The euro lost 5 pesos and is selling at 13 cedis 76 pesos. However, at some forex bureaus, the dollar is selling at 13 cedis 90 pesos. The British pound is selling at 14 cedis and the euro at 16 cedis 70 pesos. Let's now join Gillian Hammer of Data Bank for more on the topic. What's the meaning of mark-to-market and how does it impact your investment?
Mark-to-market is a valuation method where the value of a security in a portfolio reflects its current market price and not the purchase price or face value. It also indicates how much you would receive if you sold a security on the market today. A portfolio that is marking to market could see its price go up and down based on market or economic conditions. Let's say you bought 50 shares in a mutual fund when the share price was 2 cedis, giving you 100 cedis. If you decide to withdraw everything today, you would receive an amount based on the share price for that day and not the initial price you bought it at. If the current share price is 1 CD 50 pesos, you would get 75 CDs, while if the price had moved to 3 CDs, you would get 150 CDs. While it is a relatively new concept for fixed income funds in Ghana, that method has been used for equity and balance funds since they were introduced to the market.
That was Gillian Hammer of Data Bank, and that does it for the breakfast edition of Citi Business News, proudly brought to you by MTN, Goil and Access Bank, more than banking, and powered by your most comprehensive business news website, citibusinessnews.com. My name is Netelinete Ajahu. Have a good business day.
A Razi Timmy, a Razi increment in my salary. This is all I ask this season. A Razi Bwami.
Mbappe, please stop disturbing God and switch your salary account to Access Bank now to get a triple salary.
Oh yes, it's as simple as that. Switch your salary account to Access Bank Empower Salary Account and stand a chance of winning 3 times your monthly salary. You heard me right. 3 times your salary. Also win exciting prizes like school fee scholarships, free DSTV subscriptions, interest-free loans, free insurance cover, cashback rewards, and a lot more by spending a minimum of 500 Ghana cedis with any of our Visa card. Promo runs from now to 30th April 2023. This promo is in partnership with NLA on the...
What do you get when you mix the best DJs in the country, the most amazing live band sets, delicious cocktails, and wonderful food? Back-to-back hit music from Ghana's finest group, Prayer, and being serenaded by the brilliantly talented Akwabua. The biggest outdoor party, of course. Situation 2022. Are you ready to party? We are changing the situation on December 24, 2022 with the biggest outdoor party in Accra. The Situation Outdoor Party 2022. Let's wrap up the year in style with the most epic party to end all parties this Christmas Eve with Situation. Make your Christmas Eve come alive with the most incredible DJs who will keep you dancing all night long. Amazing live band sets and the crooner Akwabua. It is the perfect ingredient for the best party this festive season. Ain't no party like a city party because a city party don't stop. This will be another one to remember. Date Saturday 24th December 2022. Venue La Palm Royal Beach Hotel, Accra. Time 8 p.m. Dress code, it's an all-white affair. For table booking, call 020-5973-973 or 055-8973-973. Book your table and make reservations now. Media partners, Ghana Weekend and Citi FM. This is powered by Citi TV. This is a Beyond the Return event.
Citi TV is live on DSTV. Go to channel 363. On GoTV, access Citi TV on channel 182. On a digital TV, please press the menu button on the remote control and run a new search on your TV. Take note that without an antenna, you cannot access Citi TV on your television. Citi TV can be accessed on a free-to-air digital box like the GoTV and StarTimes box. Citi TV, It's your world. Citi TV is live on DSTV. Go to channel 363. On GoTV, access Citi TV on channel 182. On a digital TV, please press the menu button on the remote control and run a new search on your TV. Take note that without an antenna, you cannot access Citi TV on your television. Citi TV can be accessed on a free-to-air digital box like the GoTV and StarTimes box. Citi TV, it's your world.
Rise above the noise.
7:14. Coming up next is Kickoff on the Citi Breakfast Show. Brought to us by Lecheho. Lecheho is asking if you've updated your records with them. If not, please visit any Lecheho branch near you to update your records with your Ghana card so you accept faster and better. You can send a WhatsApp message to 05740655958 or 0302208333. Lecheho, let's improve lives. Benjamin Nketia is here. It's time for Kickoff.
Benjamin Nketia here with Kickoff. In the headlines. Black Stars forward Inaki Williams defends Andrea Ayew following World Cup exit. Portugal and Morocco through to the quarterfinals of the ongoing Qatar 2022 World Cup. And in the NBA, there were wins for the Pistons, the Cavaliers, and the Mavericks. Let's start off with the World Cup, and let's begin with that game between Morocco and La Roja of Spain. Now, Morocco defeated Spain 3-0 on penalties after regulation time ended goalless. Let's get to some reaction and let's get to Yassine Bono, the goalkeeper for Morocco. He was the hero of the night.
For the team, they did a great job all the game. We understood the game from the start, so I'm so happy for this one.
If you could give the man of the match to someone from your team, who would it be? Why?
All the team, because all the team, they did a great job, incredible job. So for me, all the players played very good. If I have to give to someone, I will give to Sofiane Amrabat.
So you had Yassine Bono, goalkeeper for Morocco's Atlas Lions there. Let's get to the other game that was played. Portugal were up against Switzerland, and on the day when Cristiano Ronaldo was left on the bench by Fernando Santos, it was youngster Gonzalo Ramos who stepped up and scored a hat-trick. 6-1 is how this game particularly ended. 6-1 Portugal beating Switzerland. So Portugal are through to the next round of the competition. They have set up a quarter-final date with Morocco. So that's what's going on as far as the World Cup is concerned. Let's get to the camp of Ghana's Black Stars, and forward Inaki Williams says Andrea Ayew is not responsible for Ghana's exit from the World Cup. Now, the Ghana captain missed a crucial penalty in the team's 2-0 loss to Uruguay in their final Group H game. Williams has defended Ayew and believes the Black Stars lost as a team.
One of my lesson is to be always together. The captain says is his fault, but no, the fault is for everything. This is a team. This is Ghana, and Ghana lose together, and Ghana win together. And I think this is the lesson I learned here.
Inaki Williams says if Ghana wins together, and if we lose together. So he says Andrea Yu is not to blame. Let's move on to more Ghana-related stuff. In Brighton and Hove Albion forward Danny Welbeck says he was never officially approached by the Ghana Football Association over a possible nationality switch from England to Ghana. The 32-year-old was born in Manchester to Ghanaian parents and made his senior debut for England in a friendly against Ghana in 2011 at the Wembley Stadium. Welbeck says deciding to play for the Three Lions was an easy choice.
It was natural for me because I've been playing for England since I was 14. So it's like that natural progression to try and reach that next step. You know, you want to get to the next age group, 19s, 21s, and reach the senior team. So there wasn't like an official approach from Ghana to tell me to come play for them or anything like that. It wasn't as hard as a decision as people would have thought.
Danny Welbeck speaking there. Let's still stay with the World Cup, and Arsenal forward Gabriel Jesus has successfully had surgery on the knee that ruled him out of the remainder of Brazil's World Cup campaign. The 25-year-old and international teammate at Alex Telles both injured their right knees during Brazil's 1-0 defeat to Cameroon on Friday. It was his first start in Qatar after 2 earlier substitute appearances. Arsenal say Jesus will now start a rehab program, but no time scale on his return. Jesus has scored 5 goals for the Premier League leaders in all competitions this season after signing for Manchester City in the summer. Now, Brazil faced Croatia in the World Cup quarterfinals on Friday after defeating South Korea by 4-1 in the last 16 rounds. Let's get to some other stuff. And former Barcelona and Cameroon striker Samuel Eto'o has apologized for his part in what he has described as a violent altercation following a match at the World Cup in Qatar. A video posted online appeared to show the 41-year-old, who is now president of his country's football federation, lashing out at a man. Now, the incident occurred outside Stadium 974 in Doha after Monday's last 16 match between Brazil and South Korea, which the South Americans won by 4-1. Now, footage showed Eto'o advancing towards the man before he was restrained by bystanders, but he then broke free and appeared to lash out towards the man with his knee. In quotes, he says, "I would like to apologize for losing my temper and reacting in a way that does not match my personality," end quote. Eto'o said in a statement posted on his social media accounts. Let's get to some local news. In the Black Galaxies will face Accra Hearts of Oak this Sunday in a friendly match at the Accra Sports Stadium. The game forms part of the team's preparation for the 2023 Chan tournament, which kicks off in January 2023. For Hearts, the clash will be a warm-up for the Bet Power Premier League, which resumes on Monday, December 19. Let's finally finish off with some basketball from the NBA. The Dallas Mavericks were up against their rivals, the Nuggets, in what was a crunch tie. In the end, the Mavericks won that game by just a single point. 116-115 is how Luka Doncic and the Mavericks navigated this one. In the other games played, the Cleveland Cavaliers were up against the Los Angeles Lakers. The Cavs proved too strong at home as they saw off the Lakers 116-102 in that encounter. And then the Miami Heat continued to have a warm and cold season, this time losing at home to rebuilding Detroit Pistons. 116-96 is how that game ended. That's all for this morning's edition of Kickoff. My name is Benjamin Inketia. Kickoff was brought to us by Leseho. There's more sports at citysportsonline.com.
Trust the process. The biggest things often start small. No matter where you are now, the most important decision you will make today is knowing where you'll be tomorrow. All you have to do is take the next step, believe in your journey, and go with passion. Because when you go with passion...
There are those with untold stories, unraveled feats, life-changing stories, and lasting legacies. They tell their stories themselves on footprints. Yes.
Oh, at some point, well, we are taking the step. Unfortunately, he was dragging the country into an abyss. Yeah. So we saw it. But they held power, the guns and so forth. Who were we to? We just watched. But by, I believe, 74-5, the country was seeing through him. That this man was a total misfit.
But he was a happy man.
But because in Akan there's a proverb. It's a kwasia na no so nsu a so twati.
Be inspired by their hard work and resilience that led to their outstanding achievements as we trace their footsteps through time.
Lincoln, we have one of our, school member died or whatever, so we have to go there and perform during the funeral, whatever. And then I was feeling thirsty, so there was but those days it's not like pure water or whatever. They sell the water in the bottle. Yeah, stuff like that. So there was a bottle there. I thought it was just a water. No, it was application. So I just took it. When I drank it, before I realized, Charlie. So what happened to me? I was like, Charlie, I'll never touch it. So since then, I've never touched alcohol.
Okay, so you didn't drink alcohol, and you never smoked?
Smoke, no way. No.
Really?
Never.
Wow.
Never.
Then who comes out of the car? Chachu Chikata and Kojo Chikata. And the Chachu told me that they have, Kojo was sick since the morning and he has been tortured and whatnot, and they have come for medical attention. Of course, naturally, I have to look after them, even though they are very close relatives. So I look at Kojo, I examine him, I notice that he's definitely been tortured. And, there was blood, deep-seated blood in the ears. You can see that clearly.
So join me, Samuel Atamensa, and my guests every Saturday at 9 a.m. and Sundays at 4 p.m. for Footprints, only on Citi TV.
Hi, have you missed any business news this week?
Our appeal to the banks that it is not enough to show fat profits at the end of the year, publish them in the newspapers, and feel good.
Are you looking for a way to consume business news without getting lost in all of the technical language? Well, for our traders down here, all they care about is the fact that this could likely affect the cost of doing business.
We used to pay an average of $3,000 somewhere in November. Now it has shoot as much as $12,000 for a 40-footer container.
Business Weekly brings you all the top business stories of the week in an exciting manner. Business Weekly, Sundays at 3 p.m. only on Citi TV. Well, so, are you ready? Let's go.
Citi TV is live on DSTV. Go to channel 363. On GoTV, access Citi TV on channel 182. On a digital TV, please press the menu button on the remote control and run a new search on your TV. Take note that without an antenna, you cannot access Citi TV on your television. Citi TV can be accessed on a free-to-air digital box like the GoTV and StarTimes box. Citi TV, it's your world.
What do you get when you mix the best DJs in the country, the most amazing live band sets, delicious cocktails, and wonderful food? Back-to-back hit music from Ghana's finest group, Prayer, and being serenaded by the brilliantly talented Akwabua. The biggest outdoor party, of course. Situation 2022. Are you ready to party? We are changing the situation on December 24, 2022 with the biggest outdoor party in Accra. The Situation Outdoor Party 2022. Let's wrap up the year in style with the most epic party to end all parties this Christmas Eve with Situation. Make your Christmas Eve come alive with the most incredible DJs who will keep you dancing all night long. Amazing live band sets and the crooner Akwabua. It is the perfect ingredient for the best party this festive season. Ain't no party like a city party because a city party don't stop. This will be another one to remember. Date Saturday 24th December 2022. Venue La Palm Royal Beach Hotel, Accra. Time 8 p.m. Dress code, it's an all-white affair. For table booking, call 020-5973-973 or 055-8973-973. Book your table and make reservations now. Media partners, Ghana Weekend and Citi FM. This is powered by Citi TV. This is a Beyond the Return event.
$7:30. Still listening to the Citi Breakfast Show on Citi 97.3 FM. Sounds of Lord Kenya, causes more middle. Your messages are welcome on 0549 986 996. Happy birthday messages coming in.
Yes.
Happy birthday to Sami Dako. Sami Dako is a
Professor Sami Dako is a big man. He's a journalist. He's a lawyer. He's a lecturer. He's a security expert. No, he's just a big man. Etc. No, Papa Sam, no, you're a big man. You're a big man. You're a big man too much. Charlie, happy birthday to you. I know we've been through many things together as young journalists. And many people don't understand how far we have come. But Charlie, no, only God knows how far you have come. And Charlie, enjoy all the glory that comes with it, man. You're a great guy. Yeah, so Charlie, today they'll be like Tabitha for deliver something on my behalf and the rest of the team. Because Charlie, you just
man, I tell you. Happy birthday to Bright Do Mawina. Says you are such a bright star, little brother. May you keep shining and excelling in everything you do. Message coming in from Magdalene and Teria. So happy birthday to you, Bright Doma, and I'm a huge fan of the Citi Breakfast Show.
Thank you.
And a huge fan of Sports Panorama.
A big show.
Yep.
There's one here coming in from Mami F. Who says, hello, good morning. Please, I want to wish my good friend, Mr. Steve A. Mensah, the manager at NIB Koforidua, a happy birthday. May the good Lord continue to shower his blessings upon him. And then also in keeping with the song, the sweet tune that you're playing.
Yep.
Now, there is this great one coming in from an ardent listener who is sending a big one out to himself and the wife. He says, another year, another achievement.
Okay.
Who would have thought we would have surpassed all these challenges? Who would have thought we would be able to hold on and be this strong? Mrs. Gertrude Achu Habada, continue to shine just like the name of our first son or child, Clenham. This family is amazing because of you. You've made my life complete. Thank you. And happy 4th anniversary to my love.
Okay.
From your husband, Mr. Achu, or Frank Achu Habada, of Affinity Savings and Loans Ghana Limited.
All right.
Charlie Lolo, this is where we Lolo. Lovey. Yeah. So Achu Habada is going out to you, Madam Achu Gertrude Achu Habada.
Okay.
No, continue to shine.
I tell you.
And this evening when you go, you know what to do.
Happy birthday to one of our ardent listeners as well, Dorcas Emmy Reynolds. Happy birthday to you. From everybody here and from your colleagues at work. But on December 24, December 24, December 24 is the 2022 edition of the Situation Outdoor Party.
Thank you.
The Situation Outdoor Party. Charlie, it's been a wild year. And the year keeps getting wilder and wilder.
Charlie, we need the situationship to take mellow. Because Charlie,
you know what I mean? Things can't check somewhere, Charlie.
Oh, you go see Charlie party about check.
Yeah, so the situation is happening December 24. at the La Palm Royal Beach Hotel. You know, the lovely space there.
Yes.
That's where it's happening. From 8 p.m., the all-white party. The all-white party. Call 0205 973 973 or 0558 973 973 to book a table.
Thank you.
To book a table.
In advance.
You book in advance. Don't call me 24 evening. Hey, I want a table. You won't get any.
You won't get it. Yes.
Check, right? You won't get.
Yes. Yes.
So 0558 973 973.
Yeah.
0205 973 973. Now, what are we doing that day? We are eating, drinking, and jamming.
Thank you.
Towards 25th. So Kwaba will be there. Prior will be there. Then Chichin Band will be there.
Thank you.
Top class DJs will be there.
DJ Bingo.
DJ Bingo, then he'll be there. Chaka chaka, basa basa, nyama nyama, everything.
Photo. All the place.
So please call 0205 973 973 or 0558 973 973 to book your table. Just call and find out what exactly is happening, and then grab your friends. When you hear the cost, call your friends and say, hey,
Charlie,
this is what we are doing. Everybody's contributing. Then we put together, get a table because you jam,
Charlie. Yeah, it's beach side party, because if you are inside you want to go and collect koyo, the beach is just there. So you just take small koyo.
But the Situation Outdoor Party is sponsored by Ebony Condoms, Series, Doritos and Lay's, supported by Citi FM and Ghana Weekend, powered by Citi TV. This is a Beyond the Return event. We'll do a few more birthdays, but all your messages are brought to you by Creamy Plus. Creamy Plus evaporated milk takes you back to the original taste of creamy. Takes you back to the original creamy taste of evaporated milk, and it's a great complement to the things you love to drink: tea, coffee, Gary soakings, mashke, everything. And has vegetable fat and is gentler on the stomach. You can get Creamy Plus to buy from all girl shops, Bachuna, Total, and other supermarkets. If you want to buy in bulk, call Less Farm Distributors at Madina Race Junction on 0501 682522 or Grace has found us at Akoko Photo in Dansoman on 0245 162747. And in this day and age when rent charges are going through the roof and accommodation is a major headache, talk to Ugo Flip. Ugo Flip is here to make the home ownership journey realistic, fun, and more affordable. Ugo Flip is a real estate gaming company that rewards houses as prizes in 3 easy steps. Log on to ugoflip.com, register with your phone number or email address, buy as many tickets as possible, and you can win a house at Pram Pram or prizes in the weekly games or one of the many consolation prizes. Now, even if you don't win the biggest prize, you get loyalty points equivalent to $3 a ticket. Now, when you accumulate these points, you can use that as a down payment towards your next home with Ugo Flip or with other affiliated property developers. Now, this season, GTP gives you a 5% discount when you make a bulk purchase of 50 or more fabrics for your organization's church or churches, employees, or clubs. Call Beatrice on 0204 389605 to enjoy your deal today and while your stakeholders this season. Shop now to start saving. GTP Lifestyle. Boy, nowadays go, nowadays boozes.
That is the way we do boy.
Sure.
Yes.
Some of the boy pipe, you see some of the boy skills, you go shock. Have you want birthday messages, guy?
Happy birthday to Mrs. Millicent Nyako, head of Social Welfare Department at the LNMMA. Is that Lankwantana Municipal Assembly? Yes. May your day be blessed fully. Enjoy the 6th floor from Emmanuel Owusu in Medina. This one is coming in from Mr. Yomeso. And he says that happy 3rd anniversary to my wife, Mrs. Esther Yomeso. Love you, punch. And this one coming in from someone who says he's your wife. She's your wife. And then also coming in from your son. It says, good morning, Nathan. Please wish my husband, Fred Ajiman, a happy birthday for me. God richly bless and continue to protect him for all of us. And this one says that happy 30th wedding anniversary to Apostle and Mrs. Christian Soa. God richly bless your marriage, mommy and daddy. It's coming in from your daughter, Charlie. 30 years of marriage, Charlie. Some days, right for it. No, you people are an institution fully.
Seven 41. Still listening to the Citi Breakfast Show. This morning, Charlie, we have all kinds of questions to ask. We all have questions to ask. We will get to them in a second. But life is complicated. Today you're on top. Tomorrow everything comes crashing down. That's why you need to have an important backup plan to lift you up when you are down or push you further during the good times. Over the years, Phoenix Life and GUA Life have combined to do that. But these days, they've come together to become Impact Life Insurance Ghana. And they are drawing on the strengths and experiences of Phoenix Life and GUA Life to deliver on its promise to Ghanaians. Get insurance you can trust. Call 0243 690 442 or 0243 690 443 today. Impact Life, no worries. So like I said, this morning people have questions. The guys have trooped in with all kinds of questions on
today,
all kinds of papers.
Today we are not happy.
Hey.
I have mixed feelings.
Today we are not happy.
Charlie, because
one has been calculating his money.
No, it's not. Like I listened to John Kuma yesterday, and I mean John Kuma is somebody I know, and I don't want to personalize it.
It didn't sound assuring.
I don't like the tone. It's almost like, for example, there's a story on Joy Online where they quote that interview. He did Sunday's interview as well, and he was like, they are saying, he's saying that, let me read the story so that I don't misquote him. You are on your own. John Kuma tells bondholders who reject debt exchange program.
They are on.
And I'm thinking, what? With all the problems that this government has caused, we shouldn't. I don't know whether they are quoting him properly or something, but it's annoying. Deputy Finance Minister has advised bondholders to comply with government's debt exchange program. Mr. John Kuma stated that institutional bondholders who reject the program will have themselves to blame.
No, you can't talk like that.
Seriously? He says, if it's the quote, then you don't get the carrots, the benefits, the buffers that you have been provided for you, then you are on your own. It means that you are open to default in terms of the market. I'm on my own.
Yeah.
Godfred, I spent about 7 years of my life saving my media salary with an investment bank in a fixed income instrument. I'm sitting in my house, then SEC comes to announce that people should change the way they calculate how much. The contract and you're a lawyer.
Yeah.
I have
complete default.
I'll mention the figures. Okay. And they send email. I sent them. I've deposited 64,331.71 Ghana cedis over a lifetime of media salary income. They purchased 14,000 units for me. Now they do the calculation based on the amortized value. My money is supposed to be 96,000. Okay. Last month they just announced that they are doing something called mark to market, which I came to explain. The thing has already moved from 96 to 76,000. So I've lost 20,000 cedis
just like that
based on somebody's own recklessness. Yeah. All right. Now, I've said I won't go and take the money. I didn't join those who were running to go and take the money. I'm sitting in my house just relaxing because the advice is that those who were exiting are affecting those of us who are staying. So if you exit now, you will take a cut. So we all stay. So 20,000 is gone. Now you've announced a debt exchange program. There are 700,000 Ghanaians who are part of what I call collective investment schemes. Okay, you say individual investors are not affected. People called and said, I am an individual. I have gone to buy, I have enrolled or subscribed to a collective investment scheme. So, for example, the EDC Ghana Fixed Income Trust, as an example. So we asked, am I an individual or am I corporate? They said, well, if you don't have a CSD number, whatever, you are not.
You are not.
So some people have gone to buy their own bonds as individuals. So they are not part of this debt exchange. Now, I think that after the 20,000 hit I have taken, the 700,000 people who have bought into all these schemes under fund management should also be treated as individuals. Because if they treat the fixed income unit trust as a corporate entity, it means that whatever they've put into government bonds, next year they won't receive anything. Next 2 years they will receive 5%. Or in fact, 2025 they will receive 5%. 2027 is when the first interest will be due. And they'll break it into 4. That means that beyond the 20,000 I've taken, it's very likely that when they finish their calculation, even the 64 I put, they won't get it. So you shouldn't come and tell me that I should take it or leave it. Or you shouldn't. And you see, what is funny is that yesterday you read a statement from
the Attorney General.
And I find there's some because the Attorney General says you can't force this on people.
Yep.
You are saying it's voluntary. But if you go into page, I want to read a page for you. Okay. Of the memorandum that they sent. Because it suggests to me that it's actually a take it or leave it.
Yeah, they can't do that.
They call something enforcement of civil liabilities. This is in page III. Okay. The Republic of Ghana is a sovereign state. Consequently, it may be difficult for eligible holders of eligible bonds to obtain or realize awards against the Republic. You are the lawyer here. The Republic of Ghana is a sovereign state.
Yeah.
Consequently, it may be difficult for eligible holders of eligible bonds to obtain or realize awards against the Republic. The Republic has submitted to the jurisdiction of the courts in Ghana and waived any immunity from the jurisdiction, including sovereign immunity of such courts in connection with any action arising out of or based upon the invitation to exchange, or any securities issued under the invitation to exchange brought by any holder of such securities.
What is this you're reading?
The Republic has not, however, waived immunity from execution or attachment in respect of certain of its assets. Then they say, see terms and conditions of the new bonds governing law, submission to jurisdiction and waiver of immunity. This document is the 51-page memorandum on the debt exchange program. So, whilst it appears to be voluntary, I do not see the alternative. Because from what the story is quoting the deputy minister saying that you either take it to benefit from the so-called carrots, or you lose out. You are on your own.
He can't talk like that.
Okay, and now my question is...
He has spoken like
that. My question is, if the Attorney General says you cannot vary a collective action clause unilaterally, it means that you cannot make it a law that says all of us should subscribe. So you say it's voluntary.
Yeah, because...
But if you say it's voluntary, my question is there an alternative?
Yeah, the alternative is you enforce the contract as a beneficiary.
So do I go to court individually or I go to court collectively?
You can do it as an individual or you can do it as...
So the groups that said now, Godfrey read something in the newspaper review. He said about 6 groups say they are not going. GMA said they don't agree.
They say they want further discussions. Everybody wants further discussions.
No, I just wanted a list of the groups.
Yeah,
because I'm trying to understand.
Nat
say no.
Yeah.
Nagrad say no.
You spoke to one yesterday, concerned trustees.
Trustees.
Yeah, the trustees.
They say no.
Everybody saying they are worried.
In fact,
no, the trustees they said they can do the So this is my view.
In fact, we have done what do you call it? An infographic.
Yes. And it details.
Yeah, and it details.
So the Minority Health Service Workers Union, Trades Union Congress, Ghana National Association of Teachers, National Association of Graduate Teachers, Ghana Registered Nurses and Midwives, Chamber of Corporate Trustees, and then GMA.
Okay, so this is my problem. I don't even know where to start. What is worrying me now is that it seems as if all that, and I'm saying it seems because I don't have the information, all that is being presented is like we are checking all the boxes. For example, the minister said there are two examples of this. There's the Greek example and the Jamaican example. Both are true. In Greece, they made a law that sort of forced people to come for the debt exchange. Minister says, I'm not going to do it. I'm going to do Jamaica. Jamaica did two debt exchanges, 2010 and 2013. So in Jamaica, they made it voluntary. But Jamaica had a very high uptake because
extensive consultation.
It was almost industry-led. If you read all the analysis on the Jamaica one, they actually put up a committee of people who are from industry, who were negotiating informally with the government and coming up with proposals. So by the time the thing was brought out, if an investment banker, a fund manager, an insurance person have all been put in some committee to meet with the ministry people, and they all come out and say these are the alternatives. And then they sell the idea that if we don't go for this, we'll not get the IMF program and all of this. The consultations that were done in all the write-ups I've read were extensive. In fact, I dare say it was industry-led. Now, I want to ask a question. Last month, a committee was set up. Was it last month? You read that story?
Yeah, you see, and
you read the story. You said Albert Essien,
yes,
Alex Asiedu, what's the name of the third?
It was 5 others.
Simon Donu, some lady. These are, look, Albert Essien is probably the most respected banker, the most experienced banker. I mean, he was in the EcoBank International, something. Yeah. I mean, he's a banking guru. Simon Donu, GCB. Alex Asiedu, Ghana Securities Industry Association. Now, my question is that work they did, is that what culminated in what we are being told is this debt exchange? Where we are essentially being told that you are going to have your investment apart from treasury bills. If you opt for it, you are going to essentially have 4 payments of your interest. 2027, 2029, 2032, 2037. And the interest 5, 10, 10, 10. Principal paid in 2 equal installments for the first 2 periods. I mean, is this what they recommended? Based on the concerns I raised about potential impact on 5 key sectors, banking, I've told you that a lot of the banks in Ghana in the past 4 years moved all their income from, if a bank, and I'll say it again for those who haven't heard, a bank's main method of making money, what a bank is supposed to do, is to take money from rich people like you and give it to poor people like somebody else. That's what we call financial intermediation. So they lend. The major banks in Ghana for the past 5 years have just been buying government securities. They don't lend to anybody. Okay? So that means that most of their profit or income, interest income, is not coming from money they give to Nathan Quao to start his chain business. It's coming from buying government bonds. Do you understand me? So the banking sector is highly exposed. Number 2, insurance. I've said to you that a lot of the insurance companies make losses on their underwriting. So their major means of balancing that is to buy government paper. Number 3, pensions. Which is why the pushback has come from pensions. Pensions people, majority of them, by law, 75% of their money must go into government paper. Okay? So if you say you are going to give these terms, 2027, 2029, some of the pensioners would not even be alive. Okay? The pensions. Then, this thing I'm referring to, collective investment schemes. I interviewed Kisei Anthony yesterday and he said to you on air that there are about 700,000 Ghanaians who have bought into all of these things. So when you say individual investors are not affected, I am an individual investor. I went to my fund manager and I made a placement. I don't have a record at CSD, so they don't know who I am. But to all intents and purposes, I'm an individual investor. Yeah. Now, so my question is that did the committee recommend that we, the 700,000, that we are not part? So we take the first haircut of, I have lost 20,000 cedis on my 64K already. And that money could have been used to buy land at Dodoa 5 years ago to start a mango farm.
That's right.
I kept it at an investment company. I've lost 20,000. Now, if you are going to treat this fixed income unit trust as a corporate entity, if they opt for this, what does that mean for the rest of the money that I have there? Yeah. So I think that the committee's work, we must, because you see, we are being told that if we don't do this, the IMF will not give us a deal. And my concern is that even if you look at Zambia, Zambia's restructuring, a lot of the hit was taken by foreign investors. They haven't announced what the foreigners are taking. And this debt exchange, it's unfair on Ghanaians. Maybe tell us what the foreigners are also taking so we can balance it out. Okay, so there are a couple of questions. Number one, what did the committee recommend? And is this what the committee said they should do? If this is their recommendation,
we need to speak to them.
If this is their recommendation, did they think about the effect on banks, insurance?
Let me find them for you.
Pensions, and we, the 700,000 customers of collective investment schemes and unit trust in Ghana. Did they think about us? That's question one.
Let me hold on. Whilst you've asked that question, so Mr. Albert Essien, Simon Donu, Alex Esiedu, he's a capital market expert. He heads Standard Bank's Africa Regions Investment Portfolio. He's a big man. Mabel Nyakwa Poble.
I think she has experience in insurance.
She's an insurance. She's the managing director of Sanlam.
Sanlam General.
Yes. And then Peter Inti. He is a seasoned expert in advisory services. He's a partner in Nobuke.
So these are people who know their stuff.
Say, and the reason why I stopped you there was, you realize these days, every time we start a story, I write the timelines. And I make a point to let the public understand why I'm asking, when did they start? When did they stop? Because for some of these things, it leads to the question you are asking. Who did they talk to? Who did they lead the conversation with? Or what did they lead the conversation with? When did they finish? What did they tell the government? What did the government tell them? Now, the formation of this particular committee, and it's important that we hear what the final report of this committee is, because this committee's announcement was done at a very public press briefing. In fact, the press briefing was done specifically to announce this.
To assuage investors that the people who are going to recommend the debt restructuring have the interest of industry and ordinary Ghanaians at heart.
Yes. Now, it said this. The committee will lead discussions with the financial services industry and other stakeholders to provide industry-wide input and transmit industry concerns on debt managers' strategy to the Ministry of Finance and BOG. Quote, the expectations and goals are to ensure orderliness and confidence in the government's ongoing negotiations with the IMF.
So that's the first question. The first question is this what the committee recommended? The second question is, who was consulted? I'm asking this because the Jamaican example that is given, Nathan, maybe if you have time after it, I'll read to you various reports on why people subscribe to the Jamaican one and the levels of consultations that were done. Okay. So I am not sure. The reason I'm not sure consultation was done is that you just show me an infographic of about 6 groups. Who minorities say they no go agree. Medical Association, no go agree. TUC, no go agree. Pension trustees, no go agree. TEU, or is it Nagrat?
Nagrat, yes.
And let's add that the pension yesterday when we spoke to the trustees, they were very clear and they said they were not They were not part of it.
They were not consulted.
They said they were not consulted.
So my
the committee didn't talk to them.
That's my point.
Which would be strange.
Yeah, so the question is that if you are using the Jamaican model, yes, the Greek model, based on Godfrey Adam's advice, and based on all we know, the Greek model is not the way to go. But if you're using the Jamaican model, then you have to be true to the Jamaican approach. So maybe after the break, I'll read to you. There's IMF reports, there are academic reports on the Jamaican model, which is very clearly industry-led and very consultative. I don't get that impression. Okay. Then the way we lump all the bonds together. So yes, you've separated T-bills. ESLA bond. Why is ESLA bond part of this? Because there are certain bonds that were well created, which, you see, this is the problem. If, and Joe Jackson nails it, in a deficit situation, you invite the public who have excess money to lend to government with the assurance that you will pay, so that they can help you block your deficits. So what you are doing is that basically you're saying that already you've been shut out of the international market. They've already shut us out. Now the local market have been bailing us out. If you've given us such draconian options, are you sure that even when the dust settles, any government can actually get any money from anybody? In terms of somebody actually buying any government bond? Aren't you going to do permanent damage? So my question is the Bank of Ghana in support of all of this? It's a question they have to answer, because I'm sure, as I say to you, there are two sides to the equation. There's the fiscal side and there's the monetary side. And the Bank of Ghana is the one who usually, some of these government bonds, they lead the transaction, they issue the announcement.
That is on the monetary side.
Yeah, so my question is that if you read, when I listened to the MPC report, they didn't make any explicit, because I think the details of the debt exchange were not yet out. And I'm not trying to pitch one government agent against the other, but I am very interested to know what the technocrats at the Bank of Ghana think about all of this. I'm very interested to know whether their inputs were taken and whether the stress test that was done to assure us that the banking system will be secure, they endorsed those stress tests. Do you get? Because I read it to you before in 2018, some Legon lecturers did some stress tests of Ghanaian banks, and they found very worrying outcomes. Then this is 2017, 2018. Okay, so I feel that this appears to be non-consultative. I get the impression that the IMF is driving a hard bargain, and we are not able to push back.
In fact,
and I feel that the local industry ought to propose alternative approach for which the government could say to the IMF or whoever is pushing this down our throat that, Charlie, this 700,000 people who are going to suffer a second, it's almost a double whammy. You've already received mark-to-market announcement you are now digesting. Now, if this is to be believed and if this is to be accepted, it could well mean that more money being lost. I think the industry should come up with an alternative debt exchange proposal, which we can compare and say, based on the analysis, we think this is better or that is better.
There is actually a story I saw this morning in one of the newspapers. I'm trying to fetch it for you, where a government official is quoted as having said that they have not done consultation, but they are now going to do the consultation. Oh yeah, that's right. I saw
after the announcement.
Oh yeah, that they are now going to do consultation. So
are they then saying that there's a possibility of varying the proposed terms? If that's what he's saying, then that's fine. If he's saying that we proposed this thing, we are going to consult, or because they're giving us up to 19 December to choose. So how can you consult after the fact?
You just let's do tech and social media trends. When we are done, we'll get into that. Tech and social media trends brought to us by Vodafone. Now, towards the end of the match, you know how much injury time you're getting. But when it comes to your data game, there should be no limits. That's why Vodafone's too much data offers have been refreshed to give you the best value, which means more time to do more time to stay connected, to do the things that matter, and even more time without limits. Dial *700# now to subscribe. Vodafone, further together. It's the season to stay connected. Reactivate your Carl account this holiday season and get more value. You can call toll free on 0800 500 500. Chat with Carl Bank online. Get to them on WhatsApp or send an email customercare@carlbank.net. Carl Bank, forward together. Daniel Cranting is here. He's got the segment Tech and Social Media Trends coming right up. Mr. Quantin, good morning.
Good morning, Nathan.
How are you doing?
I'm well. UPSC is in the trends. Yeah. They approve VC.
Yeah.
Professor Kwekume Samauto. He says next year, if you have less than grade 6, you can't enter their school.
That's it.
Simple. So they are trying to cut down the numbers. Facilities are.
I get 6 at Wasi.
Yeah. That's serious.
Wow.
Isn't that the highest possible?
For the main courses or every course?
He says if you can't enter the school.
You can't enter the school.
Wow.
So you need that to even enter first. Then we can talk about what you want to do.
It's next year, the students entering UPSC. Shakitu Sonko.
So what are people saying?
People say, how? How can you do this to us?
I have a feeling a lot more of the universities are going to do that.
Do you know that in some universities,
the numbers are just.
Do you know in some universities,
everybody will go to school.
Like the medical school, you can have a class of 80 people. They all got grade 6.
Yeah.
So I think one of the schools, over 200 people got 6 A's or something.
Yeah.
So it's possible.
It's possible.
So those of us, you're born. You're back wrong.
I tell you. Well,
yes, sir. We'll chop hot.
We'll be there. We'll be calling their bluff.
You'll be spending time on social media.
Shock.
Go and do your sign. Go sign. Well,
oh, Morocco. Yeah. I'm happy.
Go ahead. I'll give you your chance. I know.
No.
You want to do your Morocco thing.
Morocco.
I have a few things to say. I'll say it later.
Funny. They said Spain was raising 1,000 penalties. The commentator said, the one commentator said, like around the second half, he said the way Spain is playing, he feels that they are not bothered that it's 0-0 because they are comfortable if they go to penalties. Because the coach had said, and I'm quoting the commentator, that they should practice 1,000 penalties just to be ready
against them.
Yasin Bono.
That was an imponent.
You want to beat Yasin Bono.
So they didn't score even one.
Not one. The net never rippled.
But you see, this is the thing. Imagine if Ghana had done a penalty and we got 0.
We don't have.
Think about it. It's what the Spanish media saying. That's what Ghanaian media will say.
Oh, they are disappointed.
No, but we would have started singling our people.
Oh yeah.
Hey, Dominique Dia. Hey, John Mensa. Hey, there are you.
They didn't expect them to.
Is the Spanish media victimizing the penalty taker?
Not yet.
So why is Ghana there? They are you.
These are different.
No, it's our mentality, correct? That's the thing. Have you heard them calling almost name or anybody's name there? You do as a majana, you take the do the day.
This guy says you and I were not there.
We should stop that.
It's not a joke. It's not a joke. Passes Mako 1,050. You can't score goal. Spain.
This is what they call passing to death.
They are not serious.
They're not passing positive.
Watching the match, it was difficult to. Your neck. Score goals, you can't score.
Morocco. They are all Moroccans now.
Ronaldo is also trending.
Oh.
My whole life. I
am Ronaldo.
I've never seen international football game. They are playing national anthem.
Yes.
Now the cameras are focused on one person.
The cameras are on the bench. What are you doing here?
Because it's not starting.
The match is there. It's not here. Oh, every goal, all the 6 goals. When they score, no, hey, is he smiling? Did he celebrate?
Oh, no. It's okay.
They are suffocating us.
CR7.
Yeah, bro.
Why you be here?
If Ronaldo doesn't play and Portugal wins, quarterfinals. If you play,
and if they go out,
quarterfinals.
Imagine if they had lost the game.
The agenda was it.
I think that hat-trick the guy did show that the coach knows better than Ronaldo.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Oh, but the boy is 37. You can't expect. Oh, come on.
Why does he always get angry when it's substituting?
He wasn't angry. You see, that's better. Are you ready from the Guardian?
No, the coach confirmed it the next day that the guy was
angry. He wasn't angry. The coach wasn't happy that he was talking and fighting with an opposition player. The guy was telling him to go off. And he told the guy to clear off.
He wasn't angry.
Yes, and the coach said, don't do that. He wasn't angry with his coach. He's the Guardian, the British player. You force the guy out. He has left 2. He's going to start.
So now he's still
talking his matter. He's still trending.
What else?
One man has gone 6. Somebody has got hat-trick. You're talking about Ronaldo. Leave the man alone.
It's serious. It's serious.
Meta.
Again.
Oh, yes, they are in the trends again. Fake news.
What are they saying?
They are angry with US legislators. They say they don't like what they are doing.
Okay.
They say if they don't take care, they will remove all news content from Facebook.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
They remove it.
There's a new law.
We used to read news before they came.
Also, interestingly, Chipper Cash. And a lot of people know Chipper Cash, like one of the big ones here.
Chipper.
Laid off 12%
of their staff yesterday. But Meta said they are laying off.
No.
Meta's not laying off, but cheaper cash is laying.
Yeah.
But what's Meta saying?
There's a new law that gives the news agencies negotiating power.
Yeah.
On content that comes from
Yeah.
social media.
Yeah. We
They
need
say
that.
they don't like that. They say they don't like. They say if you don't review the law, we'll clear all the.
Let's chop all the money. They lie.
They don't want the media house to get some of the money. Don't mind them. They want us to do that.
That was second social media trends brought to us by Cowbank and Vodafone.
Massa, make what make you go. You need to go to the bank first before we go and pay for the things. Time no day like that too.
Relax. Everything dey my hand.
Massa, you need to get the cash.
Forget the cash. See, transfer. Tap payment. Tap. I dey use the
What do you get when you mix the best DJs in the country, the most amazing live band sets, delicious cocktails, and wonderful food? Back-to-back hit music from Ghana's finest group, Prayer, and being serenaded by the brilliantly talented Aquabua. The biggest outdoor party, of course. Situation 2022. Are you ready to party? We are changing the situation on December 24, 2022 with the biggest outdoor party in Accra. The Situation Outdoor Party 2022. Let's wrap up the year in style with the most epic party to end all parties this Christmas Eve with Situation. Make your Christmas Eve come alive with the most incredible DJs who will keep you dancing all night long. Amazing live band sets and the crooner Aquabua. It is the perfect ingredient for the best party this festive season. Ain't no party like a city party because a city party don't stop. This will be another one to remember. Date Saturday 24th December 2022. Venue La Palm Royal Beach Hotel, Accra. Time 8 p.m. Dress code, it's an all-white affair. For table booking, call 020-5973-973 or 055-8973-973. Book your table and make reservations now. Media partners, Ghana Weekend and Citi FM. This is powered by Citi TV. This is a Beyond the Return event.
There are those with untold stories, unraveled feats, life-changing stories, and lasting legacies. They tell their stories themselves on footprints. Yes.
Oh, at some point, well, we are taking the step. Unfortunately, he was dragging the country into an abyss.
Yeah.
So we saw it. But they have held power, the guns and so forth. Who were we to? We just watched. But by, I believe, 74-5, the country was seeing through him. That this man was a total misfit.
But he was a happy man.
But because in Akan, there's a proverb. It's a kwasia na no so nsu a so twati.
Be inspired by their hard work and resilience that led to their outstanding achievements as we trace their footsteps through time.
Lincoln, we have one of our, school member died or whatever. So we have to go there and perform during the funeral or whatever. And then I was feeling thirsty, so there was a. But those days, it's not like pure water or whatever. They sell the water in the bottle. Yeah, stuff like that. So there was a bottle there. I thought it was just a water. No, it was aquateshi, So I just took it when I drank it, before I realized, Charlie. So what happened to me, I was like, Charlie, I'll never touch it. So since then, I've never touched alcohol.
Okay, so you didn't drink alcohol, and you never smoked?
Smoked, no way. No.
Really?
Never.
Wow.
Never.
Then who comes out of the car? Chachu Chikata and Kojo Chikata. And the Chachu told me that they have, Kojo was sick since the morning and he has been tortured and whatnot, and they have come for medical attention. Of course, naturally, I have to look after them, even though they are very close relatives. So I look at Kojo, I examine him, I notice that he's definitely been tortured. And, there was blood, deep-seated blood in the ears. You can see that clearly.
So join me, Samuel Atamensa, and my guests every Saturday at 9 a.m. and Sundays at 4 p.m. for Footprints, only on Citi TV.
Citi TV is live on DSTV. Go to channel 363. On GoTV, access Citi TV on channel 182. On a digital TV, please press the menu button on the remote control and run a new search on your TV. Take note that without an antenna, you cannot access Citi TV on your television. Citi TV can be accessed on a free-to-air digital box like the GoTV and StarTimes box. Citi TV, it's your world.
Hi, have you missed any business news this week?
Our appeal to the banks that it is not enough to show fat profits at the end of the year, publish them in the newspapers, and feel good.
Are you looking for a way to consume business news without getting lost in all of the technical language? Well, for our traders down here, all they care about is the fact that this could likely affect the cost of doing business.
We used to pay an average of 3,000 somewhere in November. Now it has shoot as much as $12,000 for a 40-footer container.
Business Weekly brings you all the top business stories of the week in an exciting manner. Business Weekly, Sundays at 3 p.m. only on Citi TV. Well, so, are you ready? Let's go.
Suit and tie, but me no see nothing I go and them dress up in a suit and tie, but me no see nothing I go and them dress up in a suit and tie, but me no see nothing I go and see them dress up in a suit and tie, but me no see nothing I go and.
Yeah, them not really care about the underprivileged. The youth, them in the ghettos, the favelas and the villages. Yo, suit clean, but them hearted full of filthiness. Them only obligation and the profit in them businesses.
819.
The people feel it.
0549986996. That's the text and WhatsApp number. Still listening to the Citi Breakfast Show. So we are still asking our questions this morning. Because government's announcement of the debt exchange program has left us with a lot of questions. There's still some ambiguity, really. There are, I won't say a few there are lots of gray areas as to who gets affected, who doesn't get affected, that kind of thing. And several people are sending us messages. We'll try and go through some of the comments there. But Bernard, I think that
I think the main question I have is this the best the government could put on the table? We understand there has to be
work by the committee.
Yes, we understand there has to be. let me just make that we understand there has to be debt restructuring of some kind. Mm-hmm. And we know that a debt exchange is one way of doing this. But my question to government is that, number one, is this the best offer you could put on the table in the circumstance?
Okay.
Number 2, is this work the result of the 5-member committee's work, or this is somebody else's work? Number 3, what lessons did you actually take from the Jamaican experience? Let me read something from the Jamaican one for you.
Okay.
Now, the paper I'm reading analyzes the main events and strategies behind the success of the 2 exchanges. They did one in 2010, one in 2013. The first one was called the JDX, Jamaican Debt Exchange, and then the NDX. Now, there's steady focus on 2 questions. Given the voluntary nature of both exchanges, in which the government of Jamaica could not credibly commit to not continuing to service the debt held by free riders, why were there virtually no holdouts? Second, in the face of severe implications for financial stability from knock-on effects from a debt swap, why did the swaps not adversely impact financial variables, given that the financial sector portfolio was concentrated in government of Jamaica debts? They're basically saying that almost everybody agreed to this, and it did not impact the Jamaican economy negatively.
Mm-hmm.
Now, he starts by talking about synopsis of the debt exchange. There was extensive but informal consultation prior to the launch of both exchanges, with a small group of large bondholder institutional investors appointed by the government of Jamaica to act as sponsors to the transaction. This was similar to the London Club type arrangement that operated during the debt restructuring by various countries in the 80s, where a large bondholder group would operate as a steering committee. The expectation was that this committee would be seen as acceptable by both bondholders, although they were not actually appointed by them to represent their interest. At both launches, the government of Jamaica announced the names of supporting institutions, right? So at both launches, like what we did last week or this Sunday, the government of Jamaica, or the one we did on Monday, announced the names of supporting institutions so that the broader market would be incentivized by the fact that the market leaders and the government of Jamaica had reached an agreement, right? So in case of, in our case, you could say, we've spoken to SNIT, we've spoken to this bank, we've spoken to these guys, they've all agreed, they are sitting here to give endorsement. Do you understand? So if I am an investor, so, Charlie, all these big guys, the pension trustees have agreed, TUC, do you get me? So they said the government announced the names of supporting institutions so that the broader market would be incentivized. Now, importantly, the debt exchanges were not communicated simply as financial transactions, but rather as an integral underpinning to Jamaica's strategic economic program, which included significant fiscal reforms, buttressed by the planned elimination of the fiscal deficit in the near term. Fair enough, we mentioned that in our report. In the case of the Jamaican debt exchange, the reforms included the introduction of fiscal responsibility framework, which we've had and which we threw away during COVID. The establishment of a central treasury management system, as well as the implementation of a revamped tax administration program and public sector transformation. For the NDX, which is the second one, the reforms focus on continuing outstanding reforms agreed under the JDX, as well as further strengthening public financial management and introducing a fiscal rule, which we have nominally introduced but not yet implemented. To underscore these commitments, the economic program was set out in the letter of intent to the IMF, and then the fund staff publicly announced an agreement in principle with Jamaica, subject to final approval from the board. Very similar situation. Okay, listen to this. An unusually high minimum participation threshold was set effectively at 100% for both exchanges. Now let's talk about the first one. Just 2 quick highlights. Jamaica's first debt exchange, called the Jamaican Debt Exchange, or JDX,
which was in 2010.
Was launched, yes, by the government of Jamaica on 14 January 2010 as a prior action to a 27-month IMF standby agreement. Very similar situation, just the agreement will be different. To reverse an unsustainable level of public debt. Guess what? Our public debt is 105. Theirs was 135 of GDP.
Wow.
As of end of 2009. At this time, the domestic debt accounted for over 75% of interest expense, with 40% maturing within 2 years. Very similar situation. To substantially change Jamaica's debt dynamics in the context of a market-friendly exchange, the JDX was a par-for-par offer to voluntarily swap approximately $700 billion of existing domestic bonds for new benchmark securities with lower coupons, which is what we are doing, i.e. lower interest and longer maturities is what we are doing. The JDX was designed to generate interest savings of 3.5% of GDP and reduce the amount of maturing debt over the next 3 years by 65%. Now, at the expiration of the swap, the weighted average age of Jamaica's domestic debt increased to 8.3 years from 4.7 years, which means that on average, they extended the tenor of the debt, i.e. they were not going to pay now. The average coupon also declined by 650 basis points to 12.5%, down from around 19%. So it was successful on paper. All right. The NDX, the second debt exchange, the National Debt Exchange, launched 12 February 2013 after failing to capitalize on the fiscal space created by the first one. So the first one gave them fiscal space, but they didn't capitalize on it. So they had to do a second exchange to underpin. So they failed to capitalize on the fiscal space created by the JDX, which needed to underpin sustained improvement in debt sustainability. Successful completion of the NDX was a prior action for a 4-year extended credit fund facility with the IMF. Public debt stood at close to 150% of GDP. Significant expansion in wage cost, deteriorated fiscal performance, and stalled negotiations with IMF. So it may well be that if we finish this debt exchange program and we don't manage it well, we could actually have another one in future. All right? The NDS was designed explicitly at achieving fiscal savings of 8.5% of GDP and thereby lowering the debt to GDP ratio to near sustainable of 95%. So take note, Jamaica's debt to GDP, if it's 95, in their case, is sustainable. Ours has to come to 55 because for us, even 70 is not sustainable. And this was by 2020. This is 2013, so 7-year horizon. Very similar to us. We're saying we want to send our... So on paper, everything is... You get my point. On paper, we are ticking the right boxes. But my question is, the consultation... Because I have a story in front of me in the Ghanaian Publisher. No, you read it yourself. Read that story to see whether it's in agreement with...
So the story is on page 6, and it says, government yet to engage stakeholders on debt exchange program.
How?
So to start with, we need to watch it. Now the story says the government is yet to meet some key stakeholders on its debt restructuring program announced on Monday. Speaking on Eyewitness News, it's our story, Deputy Finance Minister John Kuma, however, noted that investors such as bondholders, banks, etc., had already been consulted. Okay. Now, I don't know if you want me to read the quote. It says, quote, I'm not sure about individual and specific groups. What I know is that these bondholders are the first targets. They are not a defined group. As a nation, everybody is an important stakeholder. I'm talking about the immediate sense of the consultation, which was more to do with the actual stakeholders who held bonds and would suffer the immediate impact of whatever decision the government would take. Now, end quote. He further explained that government was trying to achieve debt sustainability as part of the IMF program. And according to him, individual bondholders and treasury bill investors are exempted from the debt exchange program. So at least we get the sense.
All right. Let me just end this thing. The key to the strategy for Jamaica's exchanges was to convince creditors that the voluntary debt swap would be transformative on the path to public debt sustainability through improved economic growth and fiscal consolidation, thereby increasing the market value of the new government Jamaica bonds. At the same time, these incentives had to be put in place to discourage the temptation of bondholders to free ride, such as by orchestrating a reduction in the market value of the old bond post-exchange. This was a strategy used in Ecuador, Uruguay, and Greece, buttressed by the collective action clauses and exit consent provisions, statutorily retrofitted in the latter two cases to maximize creditor participation rates and penalize free riding. For these voluntary exchanges, the idea was to communicate to creditors that the cost of preventing a default arising from liquidity problems was economical compared to outright default. All right? They used various approaches, prisoner's dilemma. If we agree, this is what happens. Don't agree, this is what happens. My point is that the main thrust behind the Jamaica strategy was a consultation. Yes. And from people I speak to in industry, if consultation is inviting banks and telling them that this is what we are going to do, then we've consulted. But if you read the Jamaica story very carefully, they got it's very clear that the private participants they actually even led the process. So my point is, that's why your issue about the arbitration is very careful. Are they the ones leading this process?
Yeah.
Okay, so how come, if they were, two things. You announced that these 5 eminent people are going to lead the process. How come during the announcement,
they were not there?
None of them was there? Because you see, according to the Jamaican example, the government of Jamaica, when they were announcing the thing, had partner institutions coming to say, so like the government will say, we want to do this debt swap. Since it's a large manager of pension funds, they say, we think it's good. Access Pensions, what do you think? We are going to go for it. Petra, we are for it. Do you get me? Then they will ask, EDC, oh, we think it's a good idea. So if you see all these big guys, then there's
confidence.
So how come we didn't see these people there?
Should I share a sneaky suspicion with you?
I don't know. At this point, we don't want to suspect.
I'm saying it's a sneaky suspicion.
What is the sneaky
based on? No, it's a sneaky suspicion based on this government's record of not listening and this government's definition of consultation.
Good.
Where they will call you into a meeting for 30 minutes, tell you what they are going to do, and then they'll take questions, and then they'll tell you that we have consulted. That has always been their history of consultation. And my sneaky suspicion, Bernard, on this matter is perhaps this is not the committee's work. Perhaps.
That one, this is what I think. The committee's credibility is at stake. Because fine, they may have done a confidential job for the government.
Mm-hmm.
But to the extent that their names were put out to give credibility to the process,
yes,
they should have at least owned
the process,
if not all, some of it.
Yes.
Okay, so for example, the issue of T-bills not being on it, is it their proposal? The issue of 700,000 customers of collective investment schemes being treated as corporate entities, is that something they thought about? Do you get me? The buffers that have been put in place, are they strong enough? The stress test they did on the banking sector, can they share the outcomes? Jim, I think that there has to be, once the process has been started with these eminent financial people supposedly leading it, they should at least have been there during the announcement.
Interesting.
Even if they won't share, because, Godfred, for me, let me repeat myself for the sake. I am not saying we shouldn't do a debt exchange. I think a debt exchange is inevitable.
Yes.
Looking at our situation.
I am saying that it's possible there are alternative offers that could have been put on the table. Because if you look at this mark-to-market that has been done and its effect on our investments as 700,000 Ghanaian customers, I haven't even mentioned those who were not paid in the first round of banking sector cleanup, who are still owed.
Wow, yeah.
Double whammy. So imagine somebody put money at Gold Coast and has not been paid. Has money at wherever,
and this
now
one is coming.
Has had a mark-to-market thing done. Now you are going to say that that scheme that he is part of is also going to take this interest cut and then tenor extension. That's like a triple suffering. So my question is, the people on the committee, did they think about these people and say, what's the profile of these 700,000 people? There has to be some
suspicion is growing strong.
And you see, this is my issue. You cannot tell me that. Okay, why haven't they also announced the foreign restructuring?
Yes.
Okay, why haven't they announced that? Okay, because it's burden sharing. If it's a burden sharing issue, and because for Sky, I interview IMF a lot, and I know IMF. I am saying that if it's burden sharing, and that's the language they use, you can't tell me that only we, the domestic people, should share the burden. You know, and I feel I have this sneaky feeling that maybe the government was overwhelmed; they didn't push back enough. Because you can do a debt swap without it being this draconian. I think so.
Desperation.
I think so. We the people who are taking the cut are taking the hit. And you gave an example, ex gratia. You see, there are so many things you can do to let people know that we are sharing the burden.
I was having the discussion with
Not
Sky.
a nominal announcement of 30% salary reduction.
No. Say that until this period goes over.
Yes.
We are not taking ex gratia.
Yes. Then you say, and this will save us. And even if it's not that much, you are basically saying that our political leaders have decided that where the thing
catch. They are not even interested in their own pensions.
So if you simply say we shouldn't use V8, honestly, is that what we are talking? And then the other problem is on the fiscal side, you are still running free SHS the same way. You are still running
government size is still as large as
you are still running what's the other one they call it? Is it all these
things they are running?
School feed, all these things. You are not applying any means test. You are not trying to, I find
that you see, that is where I always tell you about the lack of the consultation, even though the government pushes the consultation narrative. You see, because every time these announcements are made, including this one, I've listened to Titus Bayo on this matter.
GMA.
And Titus Bello is like, you are not serious. You are telling me I should go and tell this to my people. Meanwhile, you are refusing to take off ex gratia.
You are not downsizing.
You are not downsizing. The size of your government is the same. But me, I should go and tell my over 20,000, 30,000 people that they should do what? Titus Bello will not give you that kind of response if you've actually had a conversation with Titus Bello and his people. Because then he has buy-in. So he's not coming to respond to anything. The man we spoke to yesterday, who leads, who has 700,000 people money in his
country. This guy.
The other one.
The other guy. Antonio.
Yes.
You understand? He would not say the things that he said if he has been consulted. There is, every time the government announces something that it says, oh, we consulted. E-levy, we consulted. Protest everywhere. So I do not know what exactly they mean by consultation. Some of these things are significant. Last week we did a story where the vice president has announced some new thing.
I want to end by throwing a challenge to the financial sector to come up with an alternative proposal. You see,
listen.
No, see, this is the thing. We don't want to criticize without solution. We all agree to do a debt exchange. That one, that horse has bolted.
Yes.
Now,
what are the people who have agreed?
It's either that or default.
Yeah.
I'm coming. Default, you can go to court. But the truth about court and all of these processes is that when you look at the effect on the economy, I don't know when you get your money back. So I am saying that in principle, a debt exchange is inevitable. But I'm saying that if industry, we've had about 6 groups say they don't agree. If industry can come up with an alternative offering to say, okay, you made it up to 2037. Why don't you do it into 3? Why don't you make the yield curve go? Because it's 10, 10, 10. Why don't you make it maybe 8, 12, 15? Because you've broken it into 17%, 17%, 25%, 41. Right? And you're saying that for the last 3, the interest rate is 10. Come up with something that will say, okay, I'm trying to save my country. I will not take the interest now. I will leave my money there. If you're going to pay me in 2037, at least by that time my interest is whatever. You get me? So I feel that at where we are now, we cannot say we won't do the debt exchange. But what we can do is to say, let's come up with an alternative. And I'm sure if you give banking sector, insurance sector, fund management sector, organized labor 1 week and say, go and meet.
They'll cook something.
They'll come up with something.
Bernard.
Which then they will come and announce. You get me? So that it will be easy for all. Because for me, if we dilly-dally with this thing and wait, IMF to say don't give us the money. It's not as if we need IMF money. If we don't get a deal, what's going to happen is that internationally, your currency will start plummeting again. People will remove all the money they have. And the thing is going to we're going to reach a place we can't even buy fuel. So we have to come to a deal. That one, we have to say that.
Yes.
They have to find a way to put out something that is more acceptable. Because this approach of Ghana, we don't agree. It won't lead us anywhere.
Bernard.
They need to come up with an alternative that the government has to accept and tell the IMF that it is our country and this is what the people want to do. And this is the level of pain they can take that will not kill them. And then we move.
But the people, the ex-gratia, they should
you see, I do not resist your call for an alternative. I think it's a brilliant submission.
Yes.
And to a large extent, I think it makes a lot of sense. But you see, Bernard, let us not forget the fact that the government of Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo and the people managing the economy drove us here. What are the reasons why I'm saying this? First of all, this government came to power on the back of in excess of 1 million votes and goodwill to deliver on the promise he made to the people of Ghana.
That's the first one.
2017. And I remember interviewing Mr. Keno Furiata on Point Blank on Eyewitness News. Made very fantastic and brilliant submissions about how he intends, if the MPP government comes to power, to superintend over transforming the economic fortunes of our country, making deepening taxes within the system, not increasing taxes on people, as a key cornerstone of his agenda or the agenda of the MPP. That interview is there. I'm sure at some point it can be played back. Fantastic ideas as to how to be done. Now, when they came to power, expectations were high that The people know what they are doing because Nanado has been at the forefront of what?
All kinds of things.
All kinds of things for well over 40, 50 years, if my memory serves me correctly. So there was goodwill that you will come and change things. What were some of the first things that he did? The first thing he did was to announce in excess of 100 people to serve in government. Now, when you made that announcement, many people were critical of it, including those of us here in the studios of Citi FM. We took the view that, look, you don't need this much to be able to run an efficient Ghana. The response that we got and the pushback we got was that
We're in a hurry.
we are in a hurry.
And there's a lot of work.
There's a lot of work. The job that will be delivered requires these numbers. And that we shouldn't be critical. Let us judge you after you have done your bit for Ghana. The next thing we saw was what? Let's intervene in the area of the financial sector. We are well aware that indeed a lot of mess had been done by the previous administrations regarding the financial sector. Licenses were issued left, right, and center without any proper supervision. People were doing their own thing with people's investments. We saw all kinds of dodgy financial sector institutions emerge in the Bono Hafo region. We know of what happened with people's... all of those things happened. And then you said that, look, you needed to clean this up if you were to preserve the integrity of the financial sector.
20 billion.
In excess of 21 billion Ghana cedis was used to provide a cure, which we were told was bigger, far bigger than the cost of the problem.
Forgive.
But, you know, people didn't raise it. As we speak, there has not been any proper accountability.
Yeah. Has Parliament reviewed that thing?
I don't even know what has become of that.
But Parliament was supposed to have a commission to review that.
Exactly. There has not been any proper post-mortem accountability as to how in excess of 21 billion Ghana cedis came to be expended. People lost jobs, and as we speak, people haven't received many people haven't received their investments. So the financial sector took a major hit. People who had thought that they were going to make money by saving, because all along, everywhere you went, in fact, I remember as a young reporter attending press conferences, Bawedu, Safo, Mafo, the encouragement was that Ghanaians were not saving. So let's deepen the culture of saving. Japan is what it is. Asia is what it is.
Of savings.
Because of the culture of saving. So let's stop saving under our beds
and go and put the money
in the bank.
Let your money work for you.
Exactly. So when this thing happened to the financial sector, people took a major hit. The MPP then in opposition promised that when we come back, we'll make sure that the people who are responsible for this, they will pay for it, we'll prosecute them, and we'll make sure that you collect your money. You came back, expended 21 billion. People are still in debt. People have done all kinds of things to themselves as a result of you failing to deal with their problems for you.
The court process is long.
So many people went home as a result of that. Job losses. As we speak, some people have never been able to recover from that.
Lots of them are home.
Exactly. So the expectation was that, okay, people had to move their money from these private sector funding, investment institutions, to government bonds. In some cases, to treasury bills. So that as for the government is a continuum. So government will buy all
they go pay.
Willingly. It may take forever. But at some point, the government will pay. Then people, after 2, 3, 4 years, moving their resources from the private ends to government-led investment, you have come back to tell them that they are taking a haircut. First of all, let me trace the timeline for you. The first time this matter of haircut became public was when Ato Forson, the minority spokesperson on finance, said at the UPSA that they were picking up dangerous signals about the state of the economy, and that in the not too distant future, there was going to be an announcement of haircut. John Mahama was to speak at that particular platform, and indeed he spoke.
Yeah, so Atu did the first.
Yeah, that's right. So John Mahama had a foray into that. Later, there was a firestorm of response from the MPP and its apparatchiks and the government that, look, there was nothing like that happening. They said that nothing like that was happening. They were dealing with the problems with the economy. It is not as bad as the minority had claimed. They will deal with the situation. And in fact, as recent as 3-4 weeks ago or so, the president himself spoke on this matter of haircuts and created the impression that we wouldn't have haircuts. Again, the deputy minister in the office, the finance ministry, also had said something that turned out to be one that was disputed by the ministry in its own statement.
So they came to say that the haircut now talks about principle.
Exactly.
And that, but to be fair, they've maintained that throughout, because even with the announcement, there's no principal haircut.
There's no principal.
That's okay.
Yes.
But the president's statement was definitive. It was the following day on this show that Kojo Nkrumah came to clarify.
So now,
other than that, the president's statement
so now
was,
in Ghana, a haircut is principal.
Yes, but I'm saying when the president spoke originally,
Yeah, but he said haircut. He didn't tell what type.
No. He said there will be no haircut.
Charlie.
Yeah, but no, what else I'm saying that you see, take your time.
Okay.
A haircut generally talks about a principal reduction. You get me? That's in fact, if to be fair, if you even go into the literature, when you read all these Jamaican things, when they use the term haircut, they are talking about the principal being chopped off. So I think it's consistent if you said, and I'm not saying the president didn't confuse us, but I say that it's consistent now where they say, for example, Akes is saying that if you look through the proposal, your principal will be paid in 2 equal installments or 3 equal installments, depending on which time you are receiving it back. So the main thrust of the exchange is the interest and the tenor. So that point has been made. But I think let's
Now, what is my point? My point is that when you came to office, there were specific expectations. You promised specific things. You will run this economy to the glory of God because the people who were in charge previously didn't know what they were doing. They were incompetent and they were not fit for purpose. In other words, they were not value for money. So let's throw them out.
And they said they would save the country.
Yes, they said that. Yet Tisikasu Yamin no Gamin Lagaji Galeniate Gate Domiawu Dowama Enyawuge. Charlie, that was the expression. Economy Egbla. You remember all of that.
Yeah.
Now you come in. The Constitution under Article 36 imposes a specific obligation. Let me read with your permission Article 36(1). It says that the state shall take all necessary action to ensure that the national economy is managed in such a manner as to maximize the rate of economic development and secure the maximum welfare, freedom and happiness of every citizen in Ghana.
You are wasting time.
And to provide adequate means of livelihood. No, Bernard, wait.
COVID. All these things you are saying is true, but COVID came.
No, please. Bernard, we'll come to COVID.
In Russia.
That's the instruction. COVID. Now, you blew all kinds of funds belonging to the state on all manner of projects. You cannot tell me.
No, they are government flagships.
Wait, you can't. The reason the government flagship is annoying, first of all, is that you and I sat in this studio and we told this government
how do you know?
That the idea of implementing a free senior high school program to everybody without doing a means test, targeting people who actually need it, so that you take money from the rich and then ensure that the poor get what they deserve in order to move them up the ladder. They did not listen.
We will do it. And
in fact, when the economy was running into trouble, someone had suggested that the finance minister had said that there may be need to review.
No, I interviewed him and I sort of pushed him on the point about why should somebody like him or myself have their child have their school fees paid for by government. That cannot be right, and he agreed with me. But
that's what I'm
after
saying.
that, they unleashed people on him to finish him.
Exactly. See, that's the point.
They unleashed
the man who was looking directly into the public purse had said that this thing did not make any economic sense. Let's do something.
Not in as many ways.
That's okay. I mean, yes, that's fine. You understand? But the people who were calling the shots took the view that let us not go with this. Now we are here. In the midst of all of this, I'm a Christian. Jesus Christ, forgive me.
Yes.
For some reason, we thought it was wise, despite all the problems that we have. The fact that we cannot even feed our children who are in school because we say that they should come to school compulsorily. Yeah. You decided to build a cathedral. I'm not against the idea of building a cathedral.
Yes. Build it to the glory of God.
That's okay. the expectation was that you were going to build it with non-funding from the state. Because you had said, and in fact, you had set up a committee that was to raise funds from private sources, from individuals, from people outside the country to build this. Some way, somehow, lack of proper planning and implementation led to the decision to what? To invest public funds into it.
It was the lack of consultation. That's
you understand?
So the lack of consultation has appeared again.
Exactly.
If I is a front page graphic, build consensus on debt program. Mr. Peter Korte.
That's right.
That's the thing.
So from the get-go, that project suffered a major public hit because people lost interest in this whole idea of building a cathedral for. Let me give you another example.
But you are not talking about COVID and Russia.
No, I will come to that. You got up and said that one morning you are introducing e-levy. In this country.
That was the last card.
Yeah, in this country.
The last.
Because e-levy was the last card.
We have seen.
It was pitched against IMF.
Exactly.
I hope you not forgot.
Yeah,
that.
oh yeah.
He said that
it was either
he said we do e-levy
or we go IMF.
We've done e-levy, and not only have we gone for IMF. Now we are doing local debt exchange
plus IMF plus e-levy without the threshold
increase
VAT to plus 2.5.
I'm going home.
You see?
I'm going home.
No.
I'm going home. Tie him in the chair. I'm going home.
You have to deal with this man.
What is this? Sit down and listen.
What did you do?
Oh.
You said to us that, look, the problems that the minority or the other critics in the financial sector were talking about, Charlie, it's not a Benny. Bryce Simmons, what do you call it? And the folks at Imani and your friend Ken Thompson.
Yeah, man.
All of them have said that, look, there were serious dangers they were seeing with the fundamentals of the economy and that they should be resolved. We were borrowing too much money. And in fact, the retort in opposition at the time was that if it is all about borrowing the country into a major debt, any
it's about borrowing and raising taxes. A dimwit can do it.
Can do it. You understand? But what have you done? You have brought us huge debt. You have brought us huge debt. And when the question was, how do you intend to deal with it? You say, oh, we will not go to the IMF.
Let me give you a quick example to verify. Okay. So between 2007, when we first went to Eurobond, and Eurobond are more expensive debts than concessional debts you take from Paris Club and all these your friendly countries. So Eurobond is very commercial type of debt. Between 2007, when we went to the first one, Banredu, Eurobond, to 2016 under Tekpe, we did 6 Eurobonds. Between
2007
and 2016, we did 6 Eurobonds. Right? 6 Eurobonds.
6 Eurobonds, okay.
Between 2017 and today, we've done 9.
9.
So between 2017
and 2022. So if you look at it, 2017 to 2022 is how many years?
9 years.
No, 2017. No.
2007 to 2016 is 9 years.
Yes. We did 6 Eurobonds.
Yes.
And then 2017 to 2022.
So now it's 5 years.
So we did 6 Eurobonds in 9 years. Yes.
And then 9 Eurobonds in 5.
9 Eurobonds. And you see,
9 Eurobonds.
I remember those days when I was on Highway.
And the size as well
huge.
Is much bigger. So that in terms of the amount is much. So we've moved. So if you take our debt portfolio, the commercial debts are more, and the more expensive debt, which is why you spend a large chunk of your tax revenues on just interest. Not even the principal. Not even yes. So it's just to give a sense of what you're saying that. And don't forget the first question I asked in that Meet the Press to Dr. Bami was about borrowing. And at the time, this was 2017, 2018. Yeah. Even the little we had seen with the Euro, but that time they are like only 2. But I was like, borrowing was such a major part of your criticism of the previous administration. So why are you borrowing so much? And even at the time, I think we got some of the calculations where like, Charlie, what you are saying, Kra, is not really that much. But Charlie, in the next 5 years, 9 Eurobonds. That is really serious.
And you see, anytime we raise questions about it as members of the media and experts raise questions, we were told that, it had been oversubscribed. It means that there was investor confidence in how we were managing the economy. Where are we now? Debt distress. We cannot pay for critical sectors and services within the economy. Road sector people are complaining that over the past 3-4 years, they have not been paid. School feeding people are complaining that they don't even have money to provide food for our kids.
COVID.
look, COVID hit the world. I agree. I was in the UK when it happened. We saw the kinds of investments that other countries made in their citizens when COVID hit. In fact, in other jurisdictions, including the UK and the US, resources were given directly to citizens, received checks. Payments were sent to them. You understand? Companies that were in serious distress as a result were given government funding to keep them afloat. You understand? There were people who were not doing anything, but they received support. What kind of investment was made in the Ghanaian, company? What kind of investment was made? We were given a few parcels of rice and stew, shared cooked food. That was the best they did. Water, they refused to increase the cost of water.
No, they gave us free water.
Free water.
But in 36 months.
Exactly. But it didn't apply across the board.
It was for the vulnerable.
Exactly. And electricity also
was subsidized for lifeline.
We are paying for it too.
Not in electricity, you haven't paid.
But
we've never paid for the real cost of electricity in Ghana before.
But you don't get
that one. They have
we are paying the COVID level.
That one they have to take.
No, but the point I'm making is the concept of we gave you free water and free electricity. At that time, they billed us for it later.
But I'm saying that even the amount you pay for electricity,
I understand
is already
that.
highly subsidized.
That's right.
Now, which will also lead to energy sector challenges in the next 2 years. So in addition to all that we are going through, because of the contracts we entered, again, previous government inclusive, capacity charges, take up, pay, you're going to have a massive debt overhang from the energy sector that if you don't have liquidity now, you will run into problems in 2025. So in addition to all these things we are discussing, the energy sector is also very condensed with bad contracts, which have to be signed. And it's part of the discussion because a chunk of our debt, if you ask anybody to analyze our debt profile, apart from the fact that we've gone for more commercial debts, the agreement we signed, car power, all these agreements, they impose a heavy burden on the Ghanaian purse, which is unsustainable. Which probably is a different show, but it's part of the conversation. Which is why you keep paying all these, which is why I thought putting ESLA in the debt exchange may not be the best because ESLA was well designed to help reduce some of the stress there. Okay, and that's why petrol prices keep going up, and that's why all these levies keep changing names, but they never go away because the energy sector has been bedeviled with very expensive, badly managed contracts. Okay, but I digress. I want you to stay on your point.
So you see, and then when all these issues were raised, you said that you will fix it. There was no problem. We are not going to the IMF. Let's go with e-levy. Now, we had done a lot of work in this country to encourage people to go mobile, to go IT,
to go cashless.
So all the industry experts told you that, look, my friend, if you have to go to the IMF, go to the IMF at that point. That was the recommendation. Yeah. That was the prescription.
Yeah.
Don't introduce this e-levy thing because it will kill the initiatives, the investment, the time that people had committed to convert people from being, what's the word? Kolo. To modern ways of doing things. Businesses have sprung up on the net. Businesses have sprung up on the internet. People were doing valuable transactions. Banks were making money as a result. You don't need to move all the way from Kutuse to Accra to pay somebody. You just transfer it. Don't do it. It will kill initiative. You say chinchina, you do it because the economy is in a good shape. You don't need
it. Can I play devil's advocate a bit? So the e-levy was, to be fair, the Minister of Finance didn't really want to go to IMF. And if you listen to him carefully, what he wanted to do was that he didn't feel that, I think there was a bit of pride that we can't go to IMF. We just ended an IMF program. And that e-levy is an inconvenient but an innovative way of raking enough revenue. I agree that their assumptions were overly optimistic. So when people like Bryce Simmons did the analysis, said that the amount of money you get from e-levy is too optimistic. You won't get it. They didn't listen. But you also need to be fair to say that the opposition parties' opposition to the e-levy also heightened public disapproval for it. So that if e-levy had sort of gone through the way they planned it, they may have raised enough money to at least stem the tide of the fiscal hole that had been created. So that's why the NPP will say to you that you say you oppose the e-levy and now you're accusing us of not raising enough revenue. What's your alternative for raising funds? So they came up and said, we've designed a new tax, which we believe will help raise the revenue. You oppose that tax. Now, if the opposition or we, the people said e-levy was not good, had come and said, okay, do this rather.
They provided an alternative. They said that the rate you were proposing was in excess of what could be borne by the Ghanaian economy without creating problems and panic in the system as to fend people off. So go with at least 1% or 0.5 or 6%. Those were the proposals.
No, you remember when Haruna said that in some interview? There was a pushback from the NDC. So you see the problem. The majority leader had come out to say that for a certain percentage they may accept the e-levy.
Yes, I know
and
that.
then the Hawks came out and said he has gone to sell out and that he will not accept the e-levy in any form.
You see, wait, that was before. You see, that was before he went public. They were negotiating. They were negotiating behind the scenes. You understand? And the government will not budge. That's my information. They had made proposals which far less than the 1% that
the government was not backing down.
Was not backing down. They said, as for this thing, we will do it because we believe that we can get it through. You understand? So you saw that there was a lot of flack the government took because, look, the general expectation, in fact, including academic papers I've read from international institutions, was that, look, you can't do this, even if you want to do it.
Do it small.
Do it small.
Because I think they underestimated the Ghanaians opting out. I think they probably felt that people have no choice because when they looked at the trajectory on the growth of the mobile financial services, their eyes lit up with greenbacks, thinking that there's a lot of money here, not knowing that when Ghanaians feel that Ubu and Kwasia, they opt out. I'll tell you this: there are people who come and give me physical money, and they said I won't. In fact, they said don't pay me with Momo.
Yes.
I said, I want to. I don't. I said no. You wait. When I meet you, I'll take the money. So people, I think again they go for a consultation. I really think that the government needs to change its track when it comes to consultation.
But you've forgotten that even when it started, the Momo Vendors Association complained bitterly about e-levy, even at the level of consultation, and what it would ultimately mean for them, for their business. Because if customers were opting out, they would be jobless. What would they do?
I think the problem we have in Ghana is that because civil society is so fragmented and the private sector is so weak, government can nominally call 10 people and say we've consulted.
That's not consulted.
Okay, so and what tends to happen is that some of the people that we meet are actually not representative of the real people. And because of the politics, you can call people who are favorable to your side and talk to them. You can do town hall meetings. I think Goffey made that point. A lot of the town hall meetings, people were going there singing praises to government. And they said, if I remember, there was one town hall meeting, I was like, they've invited you to town hall meeting. They've had about 6 ministers. Go and ask questions about. I remember I raised that on this show and you said to me that I should relax, but they are party supporters. And I said, no. Even if you're a party supporter and the government has created a town hall meeting in Seshiyu also, and they said, come and ask questions. Don't come and say, we and Nana. You know me? And so they wasted out. So the whole consultation is a charade. Now you have the public not patronizing, so e-levy woefully failed. And then you are sent kicking and screaming to the IMF. Then you have the majority now say, sack the finance minister. Even for on principle, president who says no. So for me, it's like a culmination of bad decisions. It's like bad decisions, culminating in I mean, I don't find the adjective to describe it now. You know, and when you listen to Akhest, she be even speaking in that meeting with the banks about the economy. This is the guy in charge of our debt. You listen to that audio again. It's terrible. It's basically saying you are broke, your debt is unsustainable. Even if we cut our fiscals for the next 10 years, we're not able to get to sustainable levels. It is really bad. So basically, our children. Okay, so two things are happening. Our children have to pay for debt we have incurred, supposedly to solve COVID problems and all these things. And the money that you use to even buffer your kids to grow to that age, that you've put in a bank or wherever, they will pay you back. That you've gone to buy a bond, they will pay you back. In fact, by the time your child is in SS3 or in university, before they will pay you that at 10%, some of it, because essentially, if you have 100,000 Ghana cedis, it's 17, 25, 41. So you get the interest on that money you've invested to pay her school fees to go to University of Massachusetts, MIT. You even get the money the time you need it. This is what is going on.
You see, and the most painful part, that's Skyrock. So it's not like they don't know. I was telling you yesterday, the Bank of Ghana boss was in Lome, attending a conference last week.
Really? What conference?
Governors of banks in Africa. They met.
Okay.
That's a segment. And he gave a perfect analogy, but I doubt he will say it publicly here.
But it was a public event.
No, it was. The comments that he made were in a closed session.
But of course, you got the
of course. That is why we are job.
And you've confirmed that he said it.
I played the audio to you yesterday. He says the economy of Ghana, it is like you have your leg on the brake and the accelerator at the same time of a car.
In other words, it is crashing.
No, it actually confirms the point we made here that there was a disalignment between fiscal efforts and monetary efforts. Yeah. So he's basically saying, what he's saying is code. He's saying that I am probably trying to put a brake
on the spending.
And then
somebody's hitting the accelerator. But we don't know if he's saying that in relation to
the context of it.
No, hold on. I'm saying we don't know if he's saying that in relation to what's happening now, or what is generally the challenge with the monetary and fiscal as a historical issue. But be that as it may, it's still a very serious thing
to say. So it's not like they don't know.
So the effort, so which means that when he goes to MPC and says, I'm going to raise interest rates because I want to cool down, he doesn't necessarily, he probably doesn't see the fiscal effort to also rein in. So he puts his leg on the brake.
And that's how he also stepped down on the same car.
Like, no, but you remember when we were learning to drive? When I was learning to drive,
the instructor also had
the driving institute at the Madina Zungo Junction. I won't mention the name. I had the car, then the guy sits next to me. So when I did drive, went to the drive. And they step for it. If I don't step, you kill us. So the instructor sits in the car with another
on the passenger side.
So as I did mess up, they correct you. So that's what's going on.
You see,
so in wrapping up,
Nathan, what am I saying? I am saying that the mandate that brought the Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo government to power was clear. And based on every evidence we have seen that far, the government has failed the people. The government has failed people because you cannot tell people that, look, we will do it better. People took their money to the bank. People took their
money. The money disappeared. So my 64,000,
your 20,000 is gone.
They
will give you terms on how you take it. I mean, how can you do that? As we speak, people are being prosecuted in the banking sector for decisions and irresponsible or indecisions that they took when they were running various banks. You have come to run a national economy, and we are hearing this from the Bank of Ghana, that this is what is going on. And you see, what even hurts me is that there is no body language you see that communicates that, look, we accept responsibility for how we have mismanaged things.
We are sorry. He appeared before the committee.
Sorry, Sisay.
When he appeared before the parliamentary committee, he started with an apology.
It's like,
and then with the Bible quotation.
You see, look,
he apologized.
You see, as for the Bible.
No, but Godfrey, did you not apologize?
You see, there are some apologies.
I don't want us to personalize it. The man apologized.
Charlie, look, Bernard, tell that to the person whose fees will be paid next year, just in January.
So what do you want to see? As in, is it that you're saying they should be more remorseful and that they should also take actions to show that they are going to take a bigger hit than us?
First of all, the president should own the problem and say that, look, I promise you A, B, C, D. I have failed to deliver that because of A, B, C, D. Going forward, this is what I want to do. And you see, tell the people that you really are sorry for how you have led them.
Hold on, let's. You are saying that he should own the problem.
Yes.
By saying that he has failed.
Yes.
And that it is his fault.
Yes.
Well, he's saying that we have challenges because of COVID and Russia.
They should stop the COVID and Russia.
Look, because that's what they are saying. That basically that they have not. We are in a challenge because COVID is a once in a lifetime event that took all of us by surprise.
I don't.
And that now there are over 20 countries that are in Africa going to the IMF. And then we have a Russia-Ukraine crisis that have came at the worst possible time. and therefore it's a storm that will ride together. So we all share the burden. So we are in it together.
No, you see, I don't disagree.
So that's the communication.
It's just a part.
Why you are not happy with that?
No, I'm not. You see, what they are doing is to try and say that we are not responsible, and that the external things that we are mentioning are responsible for where we are.
But can it not be both?
No, it
doesn't have to be one of the other.
No.
So we are responsible, but Russia made it worse. COVID made it worse.
You see, they are not even saying that we.
No, but that you know already.
No, you see, that's the problem. It is like you have been caught stealing. You have not apologized for stealing.
But you've seen me stealing.
But you are saying that,
if you're hungry.
A hungry way they catch you. You understand? So, look, the government has been taking us for granted for far too long. They've not listened to expert advice. Journalists like Bernard have said this because I left this country.
I don't know anything. No, listen to the industry. Listen to. So, Sky, to add to you, what I'm saying is that two things. There's also a leadership issue here. What we are saying is that the private sector, banks, insurance, pensions, fund managers have to come up with an alternative and push it. Okay? So, for example, if they came together and said, Bernard, this is our proposed debt exchange strategy. Let's have a debate with government to see which one is better. And they will be prepared to back it.
Let's even organize a platform.
You see, that's leadership. So we are all hiding. You go and meet the president, he speaks, and they don't agree. They will send a text message to a journalist and say, Charlie, the thing know the bill. Okay, come together as private sector and say, look, this thing is a threat to our existence. We think that this is the way to go.
Yep.
Put it in the public domain, put it on front page of and say, okay, private sector proposes alternative to debt exchange. Let's argue. That's how you build consensus as a society. It's not like we will do it, we won't do it, we will do it, we won't do it. Hey, who, hey, bang, the whole economy collapses. And I'm saying that, you see, that brinkmanship and lack of consensus building will destroy the country. Where we've gotten to, we need to rally around a plan.
That's true.
So far, you've shown me on the infographic, 6 groups say they won't agree. And in Ghana, that's how it is. They just shout, we won't agree. And I'm not saying it's wrong, but I'm saying that beyond that, we won't agree. We have to agree that if we don't do a debt exchange, we are screwed. But the proposed debt exchange is also a level of screwing which is very difficult to take.
Yeah.
So, what is the alternative? Let the people who I interviewed yesterday, I interviewed 2 people, right? Ghana Securities Exchange Industry, pension trustees, Ghana Association of Bankers, John Ewua, come to a meeting and present even 5 bullet points. Give us different timelines, give us different interest rates, and show your calculation. Come on, point of view and show it. And then go to the minority in parliament and say, minority, we are the private sector, this is what we want. Push this in parliament, let's debate it. I'm even sure majority MPs can vote for it because I'm sure the majority MPs also have their money there.
But you have trust, Papa.
But they said they wanted the minister out. So if, for example, there was an alternative debt exchange program that was debated on the floor, I'm sure they will get some people in MPP to say, let's even vote for this one. Because they are the same people who voted for Bagbin to become speaker. They are the same people who almost jettisoned the budget. Do you hear me? So I'm saying that where we've reached as a country, we don't have time to just argue in vain.
Yes.
We need to follow a certain route.
Yes.
And if you don't, and I'm saying that we are all being tested. We are media people. We don't know as much as the people who work in the industry. And the industry people are quiet.
Yes.
Where is the Ghana Association of Bankers? Where are they?
They said we should be
There are 18 banks. Where are they?
They said we should.
Where are the Ghana Securities Industry Association? Where is their statement? Where is the Ghana Insurance Association? Where is their statement? They are the people who are paid to do this calculation. Me, I didn't study these things. Why can't they come out and give an alternative?
I'm looking at
Where is the committee that was set up to look at the debt restriction? Where is their report? Why is everybody quiet? A society doesn't fail. A society doesn't fail because 1 or 2 people do big bad things. A society fails where a lot of people who have to do a lot of small things all fail.
Yeah.
So we all have to step up. If you are a industry leader, work with other people to come up with an alternative because the government's approach will destroy all of us. And if that's the point. This is not. If you even listen to the opposition, they are saying that if we don't build consensus, we are going to be in trouble because whoever wins 2024 will inherit an economy with nothing.
Bernard, you see, I love what you're saying, but the point, my difficulty and my frustrations, which I share with Sky, when it comes to this government, Bernard, they don't listen.
But their own people should talk to them.
Calm down. One, they don't listen. Two, there's a certain arrogance at a certain level where the belief is we know better. Let us do what of course.
We behave, you know better.
Bernard.
This is not evidence of we know better.
This is probably the worst economic situation since 1983.
You had your embattled finance minister tell you publicly and go to Washington and say so there that he is the person, the best equipped person to take you out of this situation. Did he not say it?
But that's his view. Do you think his party thinks
Who took him on? Is it not there?
And the Apia Kubi and Co did.
Is it not still finance minister?
Well, they didn't appoint him. But at least they tried to show
exactly
a bit of...
the point. Have his powers been curtailed?
No.
Nope. Have his powers been curtailed?
No.
Has a committee been put in place that verifies the work that he does? No. That says that, okay, for the past 2 years, your decision making has been shaky. So now, anytime you make a decision, 3 other people must vet it and discuss with you. He has even been granted even more powers.
So where's the Council of
Hold on.
Don't
forget the Council of Elders and
yeah, everyone was supposed to step in.
Forget it. You see, and then you spoke about the industry leaders.
Yes.
I've had cause to complain about them. And you've defended them several times on this show. Anytime I complain about industry leaders, you say I'm too harsh.
No, their choice of words.
No, it is built up behavior. It is built up behavior. And sometimes I don't blame them. And in fact, some of them have confirmed to you privately that when they go for these meetings, it is basically a shouting match.
I don't mention my name.
I sat here and I told you about one who was invited to a meeting to discuss how the country can move forward and basically got a dressing down. And then they said, we finished 30 minutes, get out. Industry leaders, these are not small boys and girls. Industry leaders, they sat there for 30 minutes. You also got a report. Somebody was seething with rage. They just had to carry the person and they left.
Yes.
They do not listen. And so it gets to the point where you ask yourself, okay, is it that the entire country is dumb, so to say? Industry leaders don't know what they are doing, and it is only 5 or 6 people who understand everything about the economy, who know how to run the economy, who can save the economy. Because some of the things, but this IMF thing, I've said this several times here, off the back of envelope calculations, but I've sat here 2 years ago and told you go to IMF. 2 years ago, he was holding a pen and paper and doing mathematics. He did not need any advanced degrees. Every time Brian Simmons talks, too known, he's negative. Say his English is too big. Something.
Civil society people.
Civil society. Negative.
Some people write articles and calling them all kinds of funny names.
Realize that every single hole that we have dug ourselves into prior to digging that hole, people predicted it and said, you can avoid the hole this way. Say, no, this is how we want to do it.
Just reminded me of a song my children taught me yesterday.
You see, and that is, but for me, that is my frustration.
I am a dwarf and I'm digging a hole. Digging a hole. I am a dwarf and I'm digging a hole. Digging a hole. Digging a hole. That was the song.
For me, you see, that has been my absolute frustration.
I'm digging a hole. Digging hole.
This belief that we are
that we can't get
that we
wrong.
know best for you. Allow us, and then you finish, and then you tell us, this is what it shall be. And a similar situation is this debt exchange program, which is why I said I'm telling you that I have a sneaky suspicion. Look, I know Mr. Albert Essien. I've read work that he has done. I know.
What is your suspicion?
Look, I am telling you that is not what Mr. Essien will say. There is no way.
No, you would have recommended that.
You would have recommended something else. Yeah. No, you see,
I agree with you.
See, these are people. Let me tell you something.
I think so.
These are people whose work, when you read, their financial thinking is in a certain direction. They rarely deviate from it. These are people who
but they should come out and disown the thing.
And that is where the issue I'm coming with, the problem of leadership in this country. The industry leaders never. How often have you heard industry leaders challenge government here?
They will unleash food soldiers on you.
How many times?
They will unleash a food soldier who has no name and title on social media to finish you.
You are the economy. These people, you are the. It is not. Politicians are not the economy. You have the money.
You have to lay off people.
You have to lay off people. You have to make the hard decisions. Yet every single time, and I blame them, they refuse to stand up for people.
Yeah, they've not.
They never stand up for people.
That I agree with you.
They always kowtow to politicians. They go there and they keep quiet.
They don't step up for us, and they leave it to we helpless generals.
How are you controlling the funds of 700,000 people? And you saying that you allow some politicians to sit there and tell you this is how we are going to do the debt restructuring, and then you shut up. For what?
Take it or leave it.
For what? 700,000 people's money. Do you know what that means? And you shut up?
And that money we will get them 2027.
You shut up for what?
That's a very solid point you're making.
700,000 people's money. Calculate and see. And one person will sit down and sing and look at his numbers, wake up and then add Bible verse at the end and tell you what he wants to say. Tell Aloski, stop.
I want the job. My job is to be shouting.
Like once you wake up at 2 a.m. and type "Hey" on Facebook, and they go back and sleep. Anyway, wherever you are, you just grab a Coca-Cola and drink because that's all you can do. Coke is there to help you cool down, and you can get it at 2 Cedi 50% in the 300 ml returnable glass bottle. Coke Zero Sugar Fanta Sprite in the 300 ml plastic bottle at 3 Cedi 50%. And your favorite Coke Classic in the 300 ml plastic bottle at 3 Cedi 50%. Coca-Cola real refreshment for all occasions. Coke Zero Sugar, you need to try first. But it's true. But if you know that something go feed you, you gotta come. Anyway, Heritage Christian College is our Masaman behind the Olympic Stadium, affiliated to the KU University, accredited by GTech. We've got great courses, BBA programs, BSc Information Technology, Bachelor of Theology, tutorials for professional programs, media and IT short courses. You can contact them on 0547 77731 or 0202298399. Also get 50% tuition waiver for all January 2023 first students. Heritage Christian College offering world-class university education and training compassionate entrepreneurial leaders.
And how important is your health to you? How often do you visit a health facility? Visit Vicdank Healthcare, Ghana Health Service Certified Healthcare Center that specializes in kidney stones, hepatomegaly, hypertension, fatty liver treatment, and others. Now, we specialize in 100% natural medicines in all our treatments. Visit us on the Spintex Road behind the Standard Chartered Bank. Call 054-9951-211 or 0502-661-346. Let your Mercedes-Benz be in top shape for this Christmas at Silver Star Auto. Silver Star, with over 25 years experience in Mercedes-Benz, is offering a fantastic end of years after sales promo for all Mercedes-Benz owners. Enjoy free inspection of your passenger or commercial vehicle, 15% discount on genuine spare parts, and all after-sales service at competitive prices. Visit any Silver Star Auto Workshop in Accra, Tema, or Kumasi. Promo ends 23rd December. Visit our website and social media handles to book your slot. Terms and conditions apply. And losing a loved one stops you in your tracks and leaves you shaking. In those trying times, you can count on us. Over the past 21 years, Lashibi Funeral Homes and Crematorium has had your back when you needed us the most. From picking up your loved one through the burial or cremation and funeral reception, Lashibi Funeral Home and Crematorium will guide you through the unfamiliar territory of selecting products and services you will need to ensure your loved one has a fitting send-off. We will take great care of your needs and give your loved one a dignified farewell. Call us on 0509-542-409 or email info@lashibifuneralhomes.com. You can also go to lashibifuneralhome.com for more information.
So listening to the Citi Breakfast Show. Better add one more. Then we head out.
This is an important one. Town Hall edition with the GSIA. So that maybe this is a response to some of the things we are saying. The Securities and Exchange Commission, in collaboration with the Ghana Securities Industry Association, will hold the industry town hall meeting, dubbed Time with SEC, edition with the GSIA. This program is designed to engage members of the public on important developments in the securities market, including the mark-to-market valuation method, among others, and directly address concerns and questions from members of the investing public. Now, the date is Monday, 12 December, 10 a.m., live on Citi FM and Citi TV. So those who are asking questions, we've got a lot of questions on our show today. We may actually read some on that program, but you could also send them during the show. It's streaming Monday, the 12th,
yes,
from 10 a.m. to noon. Now, if you want to participate, two things. The event will be live streamed on social media via the SEC's Facebook page, SEC Ghana. You can also register for free by registering. I don't want to mention the whole thing. Just call this number 0800 1065. So 0800
10065.
You could also visit bit.ly. It's long, Charlie. Bit.ly something. It's too long. bit.ly/SECGSIA. Maybe you should write that. bit.ly/SECGSIA. Okay. Then you can join virtually via Zoom to ask your question. This is very important. The key industry people will be there to answer your questions. Somebody sent me a calculation of their investment based on the mark-to-market valuation, and the person is not happy at all. You may want to register for this event so you can put your question directly to the people in charge of the industry.
And the thing I'll say though is that industry people, we beg you, explain it to us like we are 6-year-olds.
Don't come and use big English.
Sometimes you call people for explanation. All over explain it in the simplest of ways so people just want to understand.
So call 0800 1065 to register for this Time with SEC Town Hall meeting and have your questions answered.
Let's go to the Citi Breakfast Show. It's just a very quick break.
Yeah, but when we come back, I haven't finished though.
No, food.
You know you haven't eaten everywhere. You will come back. Just relax. You just drink water. We beg. Drink water small. We'll be right back after the show. Don't go anywhere.
This is the Citi Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation.
What do you get when you mix the best DJs in the country? The most amazing live band sets, delicious cocktails, and wonderful food. Back-to-back hit music from Ghana's finest group, What do you get when you mix the best DJs in the country? The most amazing live band sets, delicious cocktails, and wonderful food. Back-to-back hit music from Ghana's finest group, and being serenaded by the brilliantly talented Aquabua. The biggest outdoor party, of course. Situation 2022. Are you ready to party? We are changing the situation on December 24, 2022 2022 with the biggest outdoor party in Accra, the Situation Outdoor Party 2022. Let's wrap up the year in style with the most epic party to end all parties this Christmas Eve with Situation. Make your Christmas Eve come alive with the most incredible DJs who will keep you dancing all night long. Amazing live band sets and the crooner Aquabua. It is the perfect ingredient for the best party this festive season. Ain't no party like a city party, because a city party don't stop. This will be another one to remember. Date Saturday 24th December 2022. Venue La Palm Royal Beach Hotel, Accra. Time 8 p.m. Dress code, it's an all-white affair. For table booking, call 020-5973-973 or 055-8973-973. Book your table and make reservations now. Media partners, Ghana Weekend and City FM. This is powered by Citi TV. This is a Beyond the Return event.
Citi TV is live on DSTV. Go to channel 363. On GoTV, access Citi TV on channel 182. On a digital TV, please press the menu button on the remote control and run a new search on your TV. Take note that without an antenna, you cannot access Citi TV on your television. Citi TV can be accessed on a free-to-air digital box like the GoTV and Star Times box. Citi TV, it's your world.
There are those with untold stories, unraveled feats, life-changing stories, and lasting legacies. They tell their stories themselves on footprints. Yes.
Oh, at some point, well, we are taking the step. Unfortunately, he was dragging the country into an abyss.
Yeah.
So we saw it. But they have held power, the guns and so forth. Who were we to? We just watched. But by, I believe, 74-5, the country was seeing through him. That this man was a total misfit.
But he was a happy man.
But because in Akan there's a proverb. It's a kwasia na no so nsu so chati.
Be inspired by their hard work and resilience that led to their outstanding achievements as we trace their footsteps through time.
Lincoln, we have one of our, school member or died or whatever, so we have to go there and perform during the funeral, whatever. And then I was feeling thirsty, so there was a, but those days it's not like pure water or whatever. They sell the water in the bottle. Yeah, stuff like that. So there was a bottle there. I thought it was just a water. No, it was aquateshi, So I just took it when I drank it, before I realized.
9:32. Welcome back. There's still the Citi Breakfast Show. A few messages have got, not few, lots of messages, lots and lots of messages have come in on 0549-986-996. Richard, what are people saying?
Okay, so let me take you to this one coming in from Mr. Naton, and he says that good morning, Citi CBS team. My name is Ahmed from Ashaiman. Actually, he's actually referencing you as Naton, not Nathan. I had a question to ask about this haircut. The question is, if I deposited my money in my bank account, would there be a haircut for me? And which style would it be? Like
money's in simple, like regular bank accounts.
Yeah, that's a regular bank account.
But would you have an idea?
Is that what?
Somebody is asking if he has money in their regular bank account.
Whether it will be affected.
Oh, no. Why?
Just invest.
Why are you? What's your problem?
Well, then they go. The boys go sit down.
Just leave. Don't go and do anything.
Let me take you to this one from Fifi in Hacho. He says, "Hi Nathan, I started a Petra Savings booster last month. That's November, with 1,000 Ghana cedis, and just checked my account yesterday. The balance is now 963.23 Ghana cedis. Would like to understand what is going on. I didn't get any interest, and yet a deduction has been made on my or from my money. This one says, hello Citi, anyone 40 years and above should be very much concerned about this debt exchange program, because by 15 years, most of us will have proceeded on pension. Charlie, that's scary. 10% interest rate against inflation and depreciation for the next 15 years. That's a very scary one. If you're on the fourth floor, you know what it means. This one from Semafa from Tema. And Semafa says that, Bernard, this debt restructuring thing has trickled down to microfinance and savings and loans companies. I have over 100,000 Ghana cedis at bond savings and loans, and they are refusing to give me the money. Wow. Now, good morning, Bernard. They are just getting us frustrated. You collapse fund managements where our monies are locked, and the little we are trying to save in government bonds to Wahala. God have mercy. This one from Arnold says, Bernard, I agree with you that for the past 5 years, banks do not do their core banking, which is lending. Now, we now do lazy banking by putting our capital into government securities. We are losing it. Indeed, the Ministry of Finance and Economic Planning has messed us all up. I wonder how one can easily recover his PF, is that pension fund, which is due for collection now, as it has been 10 years of keeping it with the trustees. That's coming in from Arnold. And Julius in Usu says, good morning. Is it possible to know who the individual bondholders are? Yeah, I think Bernard has been explaining that repeatedly. And this one from David Aguda says that, please, are there any transaction fees for these bonds? Will any transaction advisor charge any fees for this transaction too? It will be instructive to know who is profiting from the crisis we are in. This one is coming in from Mensa, and who says, Bernard, I beg you in the name of God, let your researcher go to the SEC and check the list of the so-called individual investors. You will be surprised by what you find. This exemption for individual investors is a hoax. It is to protect the interests of a few rich people in this country. And this one says, good morning, Nathan and team. This is my personal decision on buying bonds on treasury bills. This is the last time I'm keeping my money with government. It's coming in from Kofi in Kumasi. And this one says, good morning, Bernard and the team. I enrolled on a 4-year insurance policy with Ghana Life Insurance Company in May 2018. The policy matured in May this year, but Ghana Life has refused to pay me the sum assured. They keep giving me fake checks each time I visit their head office in Accra. I would like to know if I will be affected by the debt exchange program. These are very serious claims that you are making, and I believe that the terms of your engagement with them would have specific remedies that you can seek if there is an alleged breach of the terms. This one says, good morning, Nathan. Big question. After all these debt restructuring, does the government expect to borrow again from the domestic market, and on what terms? This is coming in from Sam from the Spintex Road area. And this one says, good morning. Some of us still have monies locked up with a fund management company. Now I'm going to suffer a haircut. What am I to do? Maybe I should start saving inside my mattress. And this one from George in Spinter says, so Bernard, how low did the first Jamaican debt exchange come from the 180% plus after its implementation in 2010? Well, I mean, I've read some academic papers on the Jamaican situation and the Greece situation. I mean, of course, it was successful, as Bernard said earlier, but there are still concerns about how other things needed to be done to make the economy sustainable and a debt sustainable, because it's not enough to just do a debt exchange program. There needs to be prudence in how you run your economy. There needs to be a deliberate attempt to keep loans down and then debts down. If you don't do these things and investments are not prudent, you go back to the same old level. Because I mean, in the 2000s we got HIPIC, right? They had written off our debt. We got HIPICO and they wrote off our debt. But we are back after how many years? 22 years. Debt distress. I mean, what kinds of people?
It's serious.
This one said, Nathan, so Jamaica is the economic worldview for Ghana. What natural resources do they have? This government is a disappointment. Again, this one is coming in from Kofi in Osu. And this one says, this government has never consulted anyone on anything it intends to do. Even if it affects the ordinary citizen, we won't get out of this mess anytime soon. More talk, less action. It's coming in from Jesse in Sakobono. And this one says, good morning, Team City. Please, I bought a government of Ghana bond, a 2-year bond, through a fund manager. The fund manager used his trust CSD account to purchase the bond for me. Now, the fund manager informed me yesterday that it will be treated as institutional investment since the trust CSD account does not belong to me. Please, my question is, why must trust account be treated as institutional investors? Please, Kai, educate me on the trust account. That's within the remit of Bernard's expertise. Bernard.
No. Right now, what we'll do is that for all these explanations, go for the SEC thing first. It's next week, Monday. It's live on air. If after that there are still clarifications to be made, then we'll come back. Yeah.
Okay. Let me take you to this one, which says, good morning, guys. Exactly 2 years from today, December 7, 2024, we will be having special conversations with politicians in Ghana. Jack give I the strength to tarry. Top of the day, guys. This one is coming from
day
Monday.
Of reckoning.
Yeah, that's right. In fact, today is the 7th of December.
Yes.
So it's been 2 years since we last went to the polls.
And 2 years more for another
election. Okay, we all go. So December 7. That's for the December 7 it will come. It's not. Even if it is a cripple, it will come. Zilix Dwayne in London says we all go suffer, but some go suffer past some. It's a fact. This government has failed us all. Yeah, and let me take this final one before Godfred comes back in. Good morning, Team City. This ex saying something. It's heartless. It's selfish. And all they are thinking about is themselves. No one, and I repeat, no one is thinking about the ordinary Ghanaian. So wickedness, so who should take the hit and who should continue enjoying? Honestly, this is disappointing.
More messages are welcome on 0549986996. This still the Citi Breakfast Show. It's 9:40. Godfrey says he still wants more.
No, I think that I want to hear his views on the football because I am so happy with Morocco. And they are the little cloud, the little whatever they call it, the cloud
that could
at the end of the little brightness in the day for me.
Okay,
maybe I'll start by asking you what is behind their success, because they beat Belgium, they drew with Croatia, and then they rode out Spain.
Planning and plenty of money.
Oh, is money?
A lot. Planning and you see, the thing is this: they had a plan. Moroccan football has always been decent, but they had a plan to elevate it because they realized that it's good social activity. Of course, significant revenue generator for their economy. Okay, and then 3, politically, had also reached a place where, if you realize, Morocco has bid for the last 2 World Cups. Morocco wants to show off.
They are very ambitious.
They are very ambitious about where they want to be, and they see football as an avenue to achieve those objectives. So King Mohammed has been very clear, and he has spent significantly in that regard.
So there's national backing
for there's a plan. It's not
cultural dominance, doing well, showing that they are,
and it's at all levels. Okay, so I put out a tweet yesterday that Morocco had done well this year with girls football. The under-17 team. You remember that incident where we accused them of locking us out in Morocco? The beat us, went to the World Cup and did very well at the World Cup. The under-20s have done well. Their women's national team, they hosted the AFCON for women. They finished second in the final. Now, their men have won in the quarterfinals of the World Cup after a very long time.
They took Hervé Renard to the previous AFCON. It didn't really work, but you could see their plan.
The plan was there. They followed it. Vahid Alilogic was there. Then Walid Regragui, their club sides have also done very well on the continent. WAC won the Champions League not too long ago with this particular coach who was then given the job. And in all this, it brings me to Ghana, and I keep thinking, this is a conversation we've had several times, and it's a conversation we have after every major tournament. But I want us to stop having that conversation where we come back and we are like, what could we have done? You see, the other time I was telling you about why I needed to speak to the sports minister. and my disappointment with several sports ministers. Bernard, we've earned $40 million
from this World Cup?
From World Cups that we've attended.
$40 million.
If my mathematics is right, roughly around $40 million. We earned 8 in 2006. We earned 14 in 2010. We earned around 8 in 20.
Together?
Yes, in Brazil. And then this one, we are bringing home 9.5 million altogether. As the budget that we took to this World Cup, of the money that we were earning, we planned to spend $8.3 million out of it before we come back to Ghana. In 2.5 weeks.
On what?
Payments, whatever it is that they want to do. The budget estimate was to spend 8-point-something million. And my position on this matter is, it's not something that we should accept anymore. Where for 3 weeks of ecstasy and joy, we allow that kind of money to be blown away, and it is never
accounted for.
It's not accounted for properly. 1, 2, it is never reinvested in the game to grow it to the next level. When we see all others doing same and moving along. I was in Comoros not too long ago for the Black Stars. We beat them 1-0 on a nasty AstroTurf. 3 years after I made that trip to Comoros, they beat us at an AFCON.
So we are peeping over the cracks.
We like to do that over a long period, and we've done it. Okay.
Because what if somebody says, Godfrey, 2018 we didn't go.
Yes.
2022 we won
Yes.
a game in a tough group.
Yes.
Scored 5 goals.
Yes.
So it's progress.
No, it's not progress. You see, it is that kind of thinking that has prevented us from actually becoming elite. But look at the number of Ghanaian players who showed up at the World Cup for other countries. Just think about it.
Plenty.
They're still
coming in essence, the point I'm making, the ball will not play. We not play,
but we are not able to convert that.
We have not harnessed it.
Because look at small Croatia.
Yes, 1, to reach our true potential. 2, for the economic value.
Because if Croatia can reach World Cup semi-final, do they have better players than us?
We are not getting anything from it. All we seem to do is, our politicians like the fact that we qualify for a World Cup. They'll go there with their phones, have fun, like we saw, even ignore the budget statement, go and chill. Some campaign with it because it is during our time that we went and it's during your time that did not go. But the actual value is never felt on the grounds. And it's something that we need to change, which is why I'm saying that I am hoping the sports person does not come back again this time to tell us that, the money that FIFA gave us, and actually, but this is cash. It's not like they'll give you cash. They'll pay. It comes bang, bang. Within I think like 2 or 3 years after you exit, the money comes.
And what does FIFA expect you to use that money?
It is your money.
There's no
what is best practice for what is done with that money?
No, but Bernard, best practice is to reinvest it
in football
development. Which is why I'm saying $40 million, Bernard. And normally I don't like making comparisons because everybody has their own.
$40 million over the past 10 years.
10 years over the past 4 World Cups that we've attended.
2006. That's over almost 17 years.
And Bernard, the national team of Ghana sleeps in a hotel. Still.
They don't have a proper training camp.
The national team of Ghana cannot train at Pram Pram, which is owned by the Ghana Football Association. We do not have anywhere that the state contributes to training footballers. The state's only function is to pay for national teams. The state is not interested in even oversight properly of football. So football is in disarray. Okay, the Football Association has its job, and I'll get there. But my focus this morning is on the state's complete disinterest in football, and interest that is ignited only when it is time to go for a World Cup. And
let me ask you. So you're saying that going to this World Cup, qualifying against all the odds, winning a game, scoring 5 goals,
it's good,
does not necessarily show that we are improving our football.
No, Bernard.
Because I would say this is the largest stage.
Bernard.
This is where you show what you've done over the past 2 years.
Transfers are down.
What do you mean?
Look, domestic transfers.
We are not getting...
Yeah. We are not selling players because development levels are low.
So people, their players are not in that high demand anymore?
No. There's no money. Which is why the FA is not really making money, because the FA makes money from transfer sales. If I transfer a player, I'm supposed to pay the FA 10%. As of the last time they got 10%.
You say locally the transfers are down.
Internationally, I'm talking about. But even locally, the quality of players we are producing has declined.
Oh, serious?
Oh, Bernard. Atizigi left Ghana when he was 15 years old.
The quality of players you are producing nationally
has significantly declined. And that is because the training methods are down. We're not investing in science. We're not investing in technology. And most of these things, they are not things that these things require partnerships between the state and the football association. These partnerships don't exist. The partnership only comes to bear when the Black Stars play a match and the minister has to lead. Which is why I constantly have issues with the people we get as sports ministers. Because they most often than not just focus on how do we win a tournament rather than the overall development of the game that gives long-term benefits, in the sense that, one, if you do it properly, everybody makes money. Two, we can actually perform much better at these tournaments that we want to do well at. So we could actually Ghana could actually make a quarter-final at the World Cup every time it goes to the World Cup. It will not be something that is historic. It will be the norm. We have the potential. Unfortunately, what we do with it is the problem. Which is why I'm saying that on this particular time, we should not accept the FA coming back to tell us that, or the minister coming to tell us that, oh, we went to the World Cup and just blew 8.something million in less than a month. It will be completely unacceptable. What are you bringing back for us to put into the game? Okay, if you look at the progress of our players into the national team, we went to a World Cup with players basically 80 or 90% trade in Europe. It's not a problem. I don't have a problem there. The problem I have, though, is the fact that over the past 14 or 15 years, we have seen a significant decline in the per capita of numbers of players who transition from the juniors to the seniors. We went to this World Cup with Ishaku Fatau basically being a standout from the age groups.
Kudus.
From a different generation.
Okay, fine, yeah.
You understand? Kudus as well. And from a period where Aloski, we went to a World Cup with 8 or 9. So you see what the numbers are. We've gone from a period where we could put 8 or 9 who came from under 12 all the way through to the senior level to 2. Or sometimes even 1.
That's a serious.
That's serious.
Negative trend.
And it's something that we need to fix overall. There are significant problems there, and I just want the people who run football in this country to pay a bit more attention. Look, I've spoken several times about the Winneba Sports College. You should visit it.
It's in shambles.
It's all over the place. They say they are building resources, something. We don't know when it's going to be completed. My point this morning is, look, let us not let this end. Our interest should not be we went to the World Cup and did well, scored 5 goals and did this and conceded 7. And the opportunity that it gives to our politicians to show off. Oh, Ghana, they wear their jerseys, they do this. Because after that, they completely have no interest. I'll give you an example. My MP was in Qatar. There are 84 teams in her constituency. 84.
Ablekuma West?
Yes, 84.
That's small place?
Yes.
Wow.
84.
Are you serious?
Football team.
Bernard, ask where we play football in Ablekuma West.
Oh, you played at your park, Arendov.
How many? Liberty Professionals owns Arendov. They play there. The rest, where do they play?
Zonta Park.
Which park?
Is in Dafa?
That is in Dafa. They've been selling off in Dafa for the past 10 years.
Small.
The last time it took Chenche to organize a protest to stop them selling it.
So your constituency has only 1 football pitch.
There is nowhere to train and play
for 84 teams.
But she was in Qatar sharing photos with, was it Ronaldo or somebody?
So the 84 teams, these are in the communities.
Yes, in my district, Accra West district.
Hold on there. That's actually very serious. So if you take Ablekuma West for 84 teams, multiply that across the level, which means that if you are doing youth development and you are trying to help young people, you can even use this football team.
Exactly the point I'm making.
Because every day they are out there training.
Look, Godfrey,
84 teams.
Bernard, if you travel, and Godfrey said this thing sometimes, and I repeat, if you travel from Kaswa to Accra, Which pitch? There's no proper pitch anywhere.
But I'm even thinking about what he's saying in terms of if somebody wanted to do a program to develop young
Yes.
Yes.
Using Ablikuma West as an example, those 84 teams present a good opportunity to reach people.
So imagine the breakdown. So there's Ablikuma West. There's Accra North. That is how we. Because of that, we sometimes the league we even have difficulties in how to play the league because settling becomes an issue.
Because how many parks?
How many parks do you even have to play? Okay. Then the thing about the state being interested in what the Football Association does is crucial because the Football Association is filled with self-interest. They will do what suits them.
So the state must intervene to say, this is where we are going. Like the Morocco King said, this is what we want to do.
Exactly.
All of you in line, instead of simply leaving the FA to do what they want.
What it wants to do. Because you know what? The FA is independent. But where does the FA play its games? State facilities. Who owns the Accra Sports Stadium?
So they are free riding.
Not even free riding. You pay for it, but you're not paying the full cost. So if the state comes in and says, well, this is my plan. This is how I want us to go. We have consultations about it. Well, a football association says, I disagree. Well, go and find someone else to play your football. You don't have access to the pitches. You don't have access to the police. You don't have access to Red Cross and all those things.
So the state can be more deliberate. In forcing the association to do the right
thing. To do the right things. Okay? And bring the right talents up. There's a lot more I can say. We don't have too much time, but the point I'm making is...
I'm sure because the World Cup is not over
yet.
This week...
But my point is...
But what's your prediction?
Which one?
For the final 8.
No.
After the break.
I don't know.
Yeah. You have to go on the break. When we come back, we see we can get something out of it.
I beg.
Let's do the Citi Breakfast Show. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere.
What do you get when you mix the best DJs in the country, the most amazing live band sets, delicious cocktails, and wonderful food? Back-to-back hit music from Ghana's finest group, Prayer, and being serenaded by the brilliantly talented Aquabua, the biggest outdoor party, of course. Situation 2022. Are you ready to party? We're changing the situation on December 24, 2022 with the biggest outdoor party in Accra, the Situation Outdoor Party 2022. Let's wrap up the year in style with the most epic party to end all parties this Christmas Eve with Situation. Make your Christmas Eve come alive with the most incredible DJs who keep you dancing all night long. Amazing live band sets and the crooner Aquabua. It is the perfect ingredient for the best party this festive season. Ain't no party like a city party because a city party don't stop. This will be another one to remember. Date Saturday 24th December 2022. Venue The Palm Royal Beach Hotel, Accra. Time 8 p.m. Dress code, it's an all-white affair. For table booking, call 020-5973-973 or 055-8973-973. Book your table and make reservations now. Media partners, Ghana Weekend and City FM. This is powered by Citi TV. This is a Beyond the Return event.
Go to channel 363 on Go TV. Access Citi TV on channel 182. On a digital TV, please press the menu button on the remote control and run a new search on your TV. Take note that without an antenna, you cannot access Citi TV on your television. Citi TV can be accessed on a free-to-air digital box like the Go TV and Star Times box. Citi TV, it's your world.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, anyone. Whether market woman, student, professional, even fisherman or
untold stories.
You go play a real estate gaming platform that allows you to play and stand the chance of winning a house, cash, or other prizes, such as savings towards the house. Simple and easy to play. Visit www.yougoflip.com.
We are taking the step.
To enter the
Unfortunately, he was dragging the country into an abyss.
Anyway.
So we saw it. But they held power, the guns and so forth. Who were we to? We just watched. But by I believe 74-5 the country was seen through him. That this man was a total misfit.
But he was a happy man.
Because
join the conversation on the Citi Breakfast Show.
In Akan, there's a proverb. It's a kwasia na no so nsu so chati.
Be inspired by their hard work and resilience that led to their outstanding achievements as we trace their footsteps.
Welcome back. This is still the Citi Breakfast Show. Now, if you are thinking of All Matters Canada, then you have to speak to Askia Immigration Consulting Services. They are number 1 Airport Square, Airport City. Call them on 0506-012-289 or 0241-318-890. Everything you need to know about moving to Canada is in the hands of Askia Immigration Consulting Services, the joy of greatness for your journey to Canada. And LT Homes is a real estate company. They've got various properties at Oyarifa, Yemensa, Oyibi, and other locations. They also have 2 and 3 bedroom homes at Oyibi behind the Valley View University for sale in a gated community. Call them on 0244-692-857 or 0246-1025114.
And in this World Cup season, don't just cheer and walk away without getting anything. Channel your passion and football knowledge into good use and drive home a brand new Peugeot Landtrek pickup courtesy Silverstar Auto. Subscribe to Ghana Win 22 via the website graphicwin2022.com. Read questions and send answers to score points. There are prizes for the 5 highest daily winners, the 3 highest weekly winners, and the 2 highest monthly winners. The overall highest accumulated score gets to drive home a brand new Peugeot Landtrek pickup from Silverstar Auto. This promo is sanctioned by the Gaming Commission of Ghana, and all proceeds donated to charity to a charity cause or a charitable cause. Peugeot from Silverstar Auto Limited.
Great.
And let's remind you again that Coca-Cola Zero Sugar, Fanta, Sprite, and in our 300 ml returnable bottles are only 2 cedi 50 pesos. We also have the same in our 300 ml plastic bottle for 3 cedis 50 pesos, and of course our Coca-Cola Classic available at 350. Whether you are hustling on a hot sunny day or hanging out with friends, make Coca-Cola a part of that moment. Coca-Cola, real refreshment for all occasions.
All right, that's how we wrap it up this morning. I was here with Godfred Bernard and Richard Sky. Many thanks for your messages that came in. My name is Nathan Quao. We are back tomorrow with another episode of the Citi Breakfast Show. Coming up next is the news at 10, and Anato Boating has the details.
Coming up.